Hey, thanks for clicking on the video. In this episode of SNTR Gaming, we're going to be talking about the Halo Infinite Reddit shutdown. They shut down the subreddit for Halo for 24 hours right on sort of the eve of the game launching. And I want to talk about this in a very short segment right here at the beginning of the stream that really covers sort of what happened, who's to blame, are they being soft, and all of that. If that's what you were looking for, it's right here on the front of the show. It's also a live stream, so if you want to watch the entire broadcast, it's about 3 hours. This is an SNTR update. Halo had to shut down their Reddit just a few days before Halo Infinite officially launched on December the 8th. A 24-hour sort of, I guess, pause button on the Reddit caused many to ask what exactly is going on, and I'm going to do my best to break this down for you. If you like these SNTR updates, be sure to hit subscribe and the bell button. That way you don't miss my content. The actual breakdown of this was from lots of frustration and irritation in the community, and it started with the store, then the battle pass, the pricing of things, the skins or whatever you want to call them, the coatings, the armor coatings. Very, very frustrating. Even the lack of Slayer has been a major point of frustration in the community, and this all stems from what I think is a real lack of vision. It does feel as though 343 doesn't have a strong vision and idea of what they want this game to be with respect to the multiplayer itself. It's getting high praise already from review outlets for its campaign, but that doesn't hold a lot of bearing when the community is incredibly unsatisfied with lack of Slayer, confusing pricing structures, incredibly slow battle pass, the challenges both daily and weekly, monetizing and charging people money to swap challenges, having XP boosts. All of this is a little bit worrisome with respect to having a clear vision. I want to say a couple of things about this. I don't think any one participant in this is perfect or blameless. I think there's a lot of shared blame to be had here. First, I want to establish a basic principle. Toxicity isn't feedback. This is something that I've run into over the years as a YouTuber. People think that if it's their opinion or their voicing criticism, that they're allowed to dress it and shroud it and decorate it in any way that they want, whether or not they're using nasty language or just being generally unkind or nasty. They think that as long as it's based in their criticism and their opinion, they're free and clear to behave however they like. Toxicity is not feedback, okay? Feedback is feedback, and I think that's part of the dilemma here is that there was good feedback and criticism on the forums, and I want to address 343 at the end of this video because I don't necessarily think they made the right choice either. Attacking developers or community managers is just never warranted. It's childish, it doesn't need to happen, and it needs to be squashed immediately. One of the main reasons it needs to be squashed immediately is because it completely detracts from good input and thoughtful participants in the community giving the feedback that's necessary for a game to improve itself and for developers to have very, very good vision transfer from the community with respect to what they want to see happen in different elements of the game. I do think some of the people that took up for the community in this situation, you need to stop minimizing what happened just because you're angry or dissatisfied. If there was toxicity, attacks, or a general overwhelming amount of overstated discontentment on the subreddit, they're well within their right to shut things down for a period of time to get control over the situation. I think too often people that are sort of on the sidelines, they can sort of armchair and minimize just how frustrating, irritating, and I don't know, I guess traumatic it can be to be being attacked by the public about certain issues. However, I want to address 343 at the end here. Don't play this shell game where there's lots of great feedback and good input, and you're going to try and brush stroke the entire subreddit with, oh, it's too toxic, it's too nasty, we got to shut this whole thing down. That's not a good look going into the launch of your game. It's far better to just have good moderation, good filters, good control, shut people down that are being nasty. Don't give them a voice or a platform. platform, but also don't give them the right to have the entire community that participates on Reddit painted with that brush. It simply isn't fair. It's a bit of an illusion, sleight of hand tactic to act like, well, we're going to shut this down because we're getting negative feedback and it's nasty, and then all the good feedback gets lumped in. I don't think either participants in this situation have done a great job. We need to do better going forward, both as the community providing feedback and reacting to 343's decisions, as well as 343's managing of that incoming feedback. As always, if you like these SNTR updates, hit subscribe and the bell button, and I'll see you in the next video. And I'll see the rest of you right now. I'm open to hear what you guys think about this situation. You know, was this a shared blame scenario? Or is it all on 343? Or is it all on the community? Like, where do you generally land on this? Because I don't necessarily know where I land just yet. I don't know if it's as simple as just saying community got toxic and deserved to have their wrists slapped, or, you know, 343 is soft and can't take criticism. I don't think either of those are necessarily helpful summaries of the situation. I don't think it's as easily couched as that. I think there's more to this situation than that. If I was to try to diagnose the problem, I would say, if I was trying to diagnose the problem, I would say what it feels like is the lack of vision has caused frustration for both the CMs and the community, and it led to, I think, an unhealthy environment. Because if the CMs feel very, very similar, if I'm right in my diagnosis, by the way, if I'm right in thinking that, like, there's a lack of vision here, that's felt by everybody, okay? That's felt by everybody. That's felt by the CMs. That's felt by the community. And no one's going to enjoy being in that environment. And so it probably just got pretty contentious. I didn't even see if, you know, was 343, you know, barking back and biting back, or was it primarily just a handful of nasty people? If 343 that shut down the Reddit of the mods, does 343 run the Reddit? I have no idea. The sub was one of 3 posts. 1, complain with 0 feedback, game is dead. 2, feedback but little constructive. Or 3, people saying the sub is becoming too toxic since Halo multiplayer launched. Don't even start on the toxic positivity coming from defenders. Right. And that's the question I have, Eugene. Were they saying that the toxicity was only in the criticism, or were they saying, no, the toxicity is just here. This is too much. We got to shut this down. Everybody's got to take a breather if there was toxicity on both sides. Because don't get me wrong, the people that are being positive and defending the game can be just as nasty as the people that are irritated about it. Both people can wear the same pair of shoes. Like, I don't think it's necessarily one side doing it more than another. If everybody starts throwing rocks, then everybody's getting bloodied. It doesn't really matter who's throwing the rocks. I would just ban the toxic people. I'm seeing both. Sure, 343 is at fault in some ways, but the fact of how players are getting seems a bit excessive. I think this actually falls on Microsoft mostly and 343 partially, since neither wanted another round of internet thrashing. Do you think they honestly wanted another round of E3 disappointment again? Right. Both sides for sure, but you could not go more than one post without seeing something toxic. I've never seen a game sub locked for a day. Really? This has never been done ever before? This feels like this has happened before. Don't blame the players. They are just as entitled to act as they like as you are to expect them to be nice. I don't agree with that at all. No. No, they're not entitled to act as they like. The customer's not always right. The customer can be a jerk and should be told so. That's not it at all. That's not the take. I don't agree with that in the least, that they're entitled to act as they like. No. It's been done. I think Fallout 76 did it. It's certainly not. It's certainly not common. I will agree with that. It isn't common, but it seems like this has had to have happened before. The posts aren't toxic. Comments, maybe? The stuff rising to the top wasn't toxic. The vitriol was excessive, says Deliverance, but I think 343 have severely screwed up to get the fever pitch to that point. They took the battle pass from 120 tiers to 100 and put those cosmetics. Don't be disrespectful and expect respect in return. Yeah, I don't get that. It's okay to call them out for it, but they are entitled to act as they like in general. Yeah. No, they're not. I don't agree with that. No, forums and Reddits have rules and things that you're supposed to abide by. That's not true at all. That's like saying you're free to act however you want in a public chat and on YouTube or the Purple platform. That's not true. Yeah, they have rules. Literally, the subreddit has rules, so that's not true. I'm talking about in general, not just in a constructive games forum. Well, but what point is there to talk about in general? Even in general, you're not allowed to act however you want. You can't just go around screaming at people in public because you're in a bad mood. Progression with the battle pass needs to be tweaked. Monetization pricing needs to be adjusted along with customization. Anything outside of that discussion is relevant. Oh, is it relevant? Yeah, it's not just about cosmetics. That's why I tried to summarize it as there's just a total lack of vision here. There's a total lack of vision. What on earth? How did you think that not having Slayer would be okay? How did you think the Battle Pass progression system being linked to challenges was a good idea when you received that feedback before it even happened? How did you think that having pricing broken down and armor coatings being specific to armor cores was a good idea? How did you think that any of this was going to be a good idea? That's where I think people are totally in the right to be like, what in the world were you guys thinking on some of this? How can 343 be to blame if they don't run it? I'm not taking their side, just wondering. If you think that these companies can't pull strings on Reddit, you're out of your head. Bungie does it with their subreddit. They've got that place under lock and key. They have that place under lock and key. Anybody who tried to talk about me getting banned from the game, the post got deleted. That is a request from Bungie. I guarantee it. Nobody was deleting posts when that one guy got banned and he got publicly called out by the CM and the CM told him why he got banned. They control those subreddits. I guarantee you they do. One little message to the moderators and they'll probably do what they're told. I guarantee it. I believe in constructive discussion, but there's a difference between being constructive and just being loud and annoying. It seems like some of these Redditors should realize there's going to be backlash. Yeah, I would say, I'm not saying every single game, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if 343 gave a little nod here and like, can you shut that down over there? What the frick? Like, our guys are on there trying to have conversations and they're getting attacked here. I thought the green ones didn't have seeds. Just like Avengers Endgame, total lack of vision. Timeline sketch. A community manager makes a lengthy, patronizing post, and shortly thereafter, the sub's on lockdown after the reaction. Don't tell me 343 doesn't have pull. Speaking of Bungie, Lono, yeah, I saw that. Yeah. It has to do with social spaces and monitoring them. Yeah. Just another dishonest person. He'll fit in well at that company. You like my little Christmas tree, Hex? The kids gave that to me last year, and you guys couldn't see it because I was still green screen. It was like over in the corner of the room. A lot of the Master Chief Collection players are ticked coming to the system. I think they got the D1 treatment when it comes to rollout. Right. That was something I left out of my video. I should have put that in there. That's good, Butters. That, like, the Master Chief Collection is one of the reasons people are really confused here. It's like, this isn't the first time you guys have done a battle pass. This isn't the first time you've tried to manage an ongoing game. It's like, why are you acting like this is your first rodeo? And why would you think that not having Slayer would fly? I just don't understand it. You know what I mean? That guy will go on a 30-minute rant if someone bags him. Yeah, I mean, he's just brittle. I mean, he'll fit in well with the 1CM. Maybe you can join their Discord called The Good Guys, where they blacklist people in the community. He should join that server. They can all be brittle together. I don't feel like my time is... I don't like the feeling of my time not being rewarded. Right. Next time, don't tell me that you're coming at this with a player-first experience and immediately sell me blue and red colors. The teabag was practically popularized in Halo. You can't take it away. They're talking about teabagging in Destiny. If you guys are just tuning in, we do need to have a all right, let's do this. Let's do a poll. All right? The Halo Reddit shutdown. Who is primarily to blame? Who is primarily to blame? The community or 343 Industries? Who is primarily to blame here for the shutdown? Is it on the community primarily for their behavior, or did 343 bring this about with their response? I want to know what you guys think. Who do you think? I'm not saying both I think are dancers in the equation. Where would you place the primary blame? The community or 343? Destiny 2 got screwed at the start because D1 got a lot of stuff right at the end, and Halo was developed while Master Chief started getting things right. Every game has knuckleheads. Every game's forums aren't shut down. Community? I feel like this poll is going to be split right down the middle. I feel like people are seeing this from opposite ends of the spectrum. I don't think you can compare both franchises like that. Well, no. Loot, the comparison I think that Butters is making, which is a fair one, is this. There was likely a team, like, working on curating and making the Master Chief Collection better, okay? While they're doing that, there are also people working on Halo Infinite. And what they're learning in Master Chief Collection cannot be directly shoved into Halo Infinite. There were similar things going on with Destiny 1's end of life cycle. Destiny 1's coming to an end of life cycle, and you have the live team and like, it wasn't Vicarious Visions, it was the other guys. High Moon Studios. You had the live team in High Moon Studios basically handling end of life for D1 with all those updates. Those updates that implemented feedback could not be ham-fisted into D2. That's the point that Butters is making, which I think is a fair point to be made, but that's not... That doesn't help in the current situation where everybody's irritated. Like, how did you not know people would want Slayer? Right? The slow was about to blow up, legitimately, in my opinion. Lono, another timeline. It's discovered over the weekend the original Battle Pass was 120 levels and it contained Reach armor pieces that is now being sold for $7 a pop. And they hide behind a few bad actors. Right, that's why I said at the end of the video, don't play this shell game with me. Don't play this shell game with me where you're trying to hide the legitimate criticism and the legitimate frustrations by being like, it's just too toxic in here, or we're going to shut the place down. It's like, wait, how... Did you not have moderators? What, they couldn't handle the toxicity? Go in and delete the bad comments, the bad actors, the bad posts. Isn't that what they're supposed to do? I remember them saying you can't circumvent the battle pass by paying money. That didn't age well. Isn't shutting down the Reddit going to cause backlash? It's incredibly poor timing. The game's launching this week. Was this to control the PR of the discoveries? Now, Mantis is saying that's not true. The Battle Pass has the Reach armor. That's the equivalent to the Twitter stuff, like, well, we're getting death threats, so we can't fix the game. People on the internet are terrible, will always be terrible. That's never changing. Ashton says, legit criticism gets lumped in with the bad actors, then everything gets shut down. Forget that. I'm sorry. The game sucks. Fix it. So what is it? What if they made the decision to change it, deal with it, or don't play? Well, that doesn't... We're having a discussion. I mean, Mo, that doesn't help a discussion go forward. That's just, you know... That's just like a dichotomous, like, well, just play it or don't. If you guys are tuning in and you enjoy the commentary, I am a Safe for Work broadcaster talking about the Halo Reddit shutdown. The Halo Infinite Reddit has since been turned back on. We're trying to decide who do you think's primarily to blame, the community? Is it 343's fault? Let me know. You need to subscribe if you want to talk in chat. We cover a wide range of gaming topics throughout the week. This morning, I kind of took New World to task for its situations and the new PTR and the holiday event. We've covered Halo. We cover From Software games and Elden Ring. So make sure and hit subscribe and introduce yourself in chat. We love to meet new folks. We're actually going to be trying to do something this Friday night with Halo Infinite. So if you're a big fan and you want to play with us, make sure you're here. Make sure you're a member and in the Discord and all of that. A member on one of my channels. Not relevant. Love the Christmas tree setup. Oh, thank you. It's really little. It's really little. It might look like it's... The perspective, it might look like it's a decent-sized tree. It's not. It's teeny tiny. Yeah, the game launches in 2 days. Yes. Matthew Johnson renewing his membership. Thank you for doing that. I'm ranked 73 and I'm unlocking Jorge's gear now. It's true. I'm literally staring at it. Who controls the Reddit? Well, the moderators do, but if you're kidding yourself if you don't think 343 asked for it. Now, somebody's saying you can use the complete armor set, but you can't customize it at all. You cannot use the Reach shoulders unless you use the full set. I love the parallel here that Creature's outlining. Battlefield launches with 3/4 of its core features missing and its community burns it down. Halo launches with 3/4 of its core features missing and the community says stop being mean. Okay, so Goku's saying this. The Battle Pass has full Reach sets. They took out and are selling Reach pieces you can put on other armor cores. Oh, okay. I got you now. I got you. Okay. So that, yeah, it sounds like that's gotten misrepresented. You can still get the Reach armor in the Battle Pass. Do I think a dungeon is worth $25? I'm not commenting on that game. You're welcome to spend the money and buy it and play tomorrow. I give zero fricks, man. You want to keep giving that company your money? Go right ahead. I don't have a say in the matter. We jumping in what happened? So the Halo Reddit got shut down for 24 hours. It has since been turned back on. This is how it looks to most people, all right? I don't have a dog in this fight because I wasn't on the Reddit. I didn't really see what led to this, but this is how it looks to most people. I made a video about this on my channel. Good for you. Everyone's going to look at this and be like, you just couldn't take the criticism. Do you understand? Even if you think you have legitimate grounds to shut the Reddit down for 24 hours, it isn't going to look good. The optics on it's terrible. Think about how many people don't go to Reddit and are hearing this. And they're like, what on earth? Why would you do that? So now there are people exterior to the Reddit experience that now have like a negative view of the situation. It doesn't look good for 343. It doesn't look good for whoever runs the subreddit. Again, they probably did this as a favor to 343. Like, hey, can you shut that down over there? It's getting out of control, right? The optics on this is terrible. It's literally the week of the game coming out. If you think a game gives you the right to send death threats or doxing or abuse it, right? But that's on the isn't that on the forum moderators to shut that down? It was death threats, doxing, and abuse. Why are comments like that living beyond an hour? That's my question. If I go right now onto any of those Reddits and I start saying stuff like that, why am I able to do that for more than about 30 to 45 minutes? That doesn't make any sense to me. Creature says 400 likes, 100 likes, just saying. Yeah, keep smashing the sub button. I want to hear from new people. I'm trying to look for some of the new names here. If they chime in chat. Actually, Papa says it's the OG Battle Pass. What do you mean by that? Oh. Okay, actually, Papa says, when we say quote-unquote reach armor, we aren't referring to specifically only the pieces that the main characters of the campaign wore. We're talking about all available armor pieces in the base game, which were in the OG Battle Pass. Okay, actually, Papa, thank you for clarifying that, because that's, again, probably one of the reasons that the fever pitch of anger got even hotter over the weekend, because that became a discovered thing. If you're just tuning in, we are discussing the fact that the Halo Reddit was shut down for 24 hours and turned back on due to an increase in what they claimed was toxicity. This is not on the dev. I'm not saying it's on the dev, Paul. I said the optics aren't good for 343 because in many people's minds, they're one and the same. The devs, I'm sorry, 343 CMs were going onto Reddit and interacting with people. You see how the waters get murky? I am well aware that that's not necessarily a fair conclusion to come to, but hey, buddy, it's the internet. I know exactly what it's like to have people come to false conclusions based on misunderstandings and perceptions in the public. So you have a subreddit where you got CMs going in and talking. And so in people's minds and in people's view of the world, that's a 343 thing, you know? It wasn't toxic. The game's just bad. The maps suck. The gameplay is the only thing that's good. I've not heard people take issue with the maps. You're the first person to say that. You don't need to type in all caps, by the way. That's why I said armor pieces, like those shoulder pads, Lono. Okay, got it, Eugene. It's hard. Listen, it's hard to keep a wrangle on this subject. It's hard. It's so many things. So many things aren't where they ought to be and how they should be. What's good, Danger Ranger? Are we going to just ignore the Streisand effect? If the sub being shut down for toxicity, isn't there anyone that was like, hey, maybe this is going to get worse if we do this? That's a great point, Alarian. Exactly. Who in their right mind thought this was going to help? You know what I mean? Total side note, don't want to derail. DMG just blocked Joker on Twitter. Who cares? Who cares who that marshmallow blocks? We're frickin' soft. Never have I seen a tool less fit for the job. You know what I mean? Like, we need a hammer over here. And they hand you a little tyke screwdriver. It's like, what is this? No, not Joker. I don't even have an opinion on him. I don't care. I don't consume his content. Eugene says, just wait. Game issues aren't even being talked about. Has anyone seen the desync, the lag, melee hit registration? I've not heard anybody complain about that, Eugene, no. Brain not big enough to make an educated question about the current sub. Well, you don't like my question? Halo Reddit shutdown. Who is primarily to blame? Are you talking about me? Oh. Wait, nobody. Are you saying you don't know enough? I'm not sure if you're self-deprecating or you're insulting me. I can't tell. Okay, so Luis is saying the desync is atrocious. There were clips on the Reddit, and I've never seen it so bad, honestly. I don't understand. So, hang on a second. How do you know that's not somebody messing with their connection? Because I played, didn't have any issue. I've seen other people playing and haven't had any issues. Why would there be such random desync then? Did I just get lucky, or is this baked in? Oh, nobody's talking about themselves. Okay, I was like, man, I was like, I feel like I'm being pretty nice right now. I certainly can be snippy, but I feel like I'm being nice. It's bad at times, like you try to melee someone and you glitch around. Is it desync or are they lagging? I've had flawless gameplay so far. The big clips were probably from the flight. The bug clips were probably from the flights. I have 1 gig up and down and have had 0 desync and lag. Yeah, there's plenty of people in chat that are saying they're not having issues with lag and desync. It's so hard to know. Like, listen, hang with me here. Don't leave and think he's a 343 apologist. I'm being pretty hard on him right now, but let's just be careful not to jump to conclusions because it could be something that's internet laden. It could be something that's easily fixable. What if you're on a server that's having a problem? What if there's some server maintenance or architecture they could do? If I and many other people are having literally no problem with desync, let's just be careful and not bake that into the crust, right? We got to be careful. It's real easy for people to fake stuff or to lag switch or to have crappy internet. Like, I'm not going to put a lot of stock into that one just yet. Listen, hear me say this. The reason I don't want to give that too much leg room right now is there's plenty of other actual things to talk about. Lag is too easy to be subjective to the user, the server, or whatever. The tick rate's dog water. I've not. Has anybody done a breakdown? Is there? I'm not doubting you. I mean, your name's John Smith, so it's kind of. I'm not doubting you, John Smith. But has anybody done an actual breakdown of the tick rate and why it's good or bad? I've not heard anybody complain about that. Again, I'm not saying there's not a warranted criticism there, but no, it's not something in my beard. It's the way the beard grows. This spot right here, it just doesn't grow right there. It feels like no melee launch range, not hitting when I'm aiming directly at someone. Melee whiffs are definitely a thing, though. You will lunge behind fools and completely miss. Oh, I think I had that actually happen to me a couple times. I thought it was my fault. I thought I just was, like, not close enough or something. Maybe people are expecting, like, Destiny-level melee tracking, and maybe it's not supposed to be like that. Wheezy says, I'm having a crap ton of desync lag, and I'm pretty sure it's skill-based matchmaking. I also have 1 gig up and 1 down. All right, hang on a second. So, Wheezy, let me flesh this out then. Are you saying that you're getting hit with skill-based matchmaking and matched against people that aren't in your region or something? So, like, I was watching CDN the Third and multiple times saw him get shot behind a wall. Okay. I think they just need to tweak the melee mechanic. Melee feels relatively the same to me since Halo 3. I have the Reddit post showing multiple people with desync. Regional range is a problem. See, Wheezy might be onto something then, and this is why not everybody's experiencing the desync, is that if it's related to skill-based matchmaking and you're getting matched in a poor region or something... Wheezy says, I'm pretty certain it's terrible. Most of the Halo pros have all talked about it already. So those of us, if you're like me, I've played very, very casually and had no problems. If I went hard, won a bunch of games, and skill-based matchmaking fired on me, all of a sudden I would end up in a region mismatch, and that's when the desync happens. You're like, the frick is going on? Well, you know, you're on a server full of people out of your region. It's going to mess with all of the client-to-host resolutions, and that's where desync happens. I noticed regional ranked being buggy. There's also inherent lag because for matchmaking balance, like what Call of Duty does. I fought the same team twice, and I felt like a god, and then I lost hard. Oh no, I hate reading that. I hate reading that. They did that in Black Ops 3. It was such shenanigans. One of the problems with melee registration is the fact that there's no collision, so you can just phase through people too. No collision in a player... What? Of course, you had no problems week 1. Well, yeah, because I was probably playing in a pretty small pool of players, and I was automatically in a good match. Once you start to play and skill-based matchmaking starts to fire, that's when you start getting region mismatched, and that's when you start ending up with, you know, what people are describing, like meleeing and whiffing and having desync. The no collision is very strange. Yeah, how do you have no collision? No collision with allies makes sense because then you could troll people, but having no collision with other players, the enemy players, that doesn't make any sense. I did notice from a clip that controller auto-aim sometimes ignores active camo and locks invisible players. That was pretty funny. It's important to remember that multiplayer is still in beta. What the frick are you doing? Bro. Bro, the game launches in 2 days. Bro, come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Don't do that. It's not a narrative. It specifically says beta. Homie, come on. Don't do that, man. That is a tall cup of copium. I hate using that word, but come on, bro. It's not. Like, if you're speaking specifically to, like, lag and desync, okay, maybe they're figuring some things out in the beta that will get optimized with respect to server architecture, maintenance, and stress testing. Okay, I will maybe grant you that. Everything else, you're out of your head if you think that any of this is because it's in a beta. And 343 has said there'll be no significant changes at launch. That is also correct. Let's give them the benefit of failure. Come on. Come on, man. Don't make me say copium. I don't like having to say that. 343 has said the beta won't end on release. Wait, what? No. Did you... Wait. No. That is not... Is that true? Is that true? That when on release, it's still going to be considered in beta? Where did they say that? Oh my. Then that ironically enough, that gives credence to the people being like, well, it's a beta. So they have stated publicly, where people can see it, that the multiplayer is going to stay as in under the classification of beta? Oh my gosh. Where have they said that? I want to see this concretely in black and white. Please help me out here, Akuta Papa. Akuta Papa usually doesn't misfire. I want to see where this is. Everything's in beta. It's not their fault. Destiny 1 Year 1 was a beta? No. No, it was not. If you want to claim it was a beta, go right ahead, but it wasn't classified as a beta. Beta has a ranked playlist. I'm not stupid. I understand that nothing is going to change come Wednesday, but technically it's a beta. Well, flesh this out for me, Mantis. Do you think that's what is that to you? I want you to tell me, since I'm not going to put words in your mouth. What is that to you? Is that just a blank check for all the problems and the terrible vision that they have? Like, oh, it's a beta? I need you to flesh that out for me. I'm looking. I read it somewhere. I'm trying to find it. Trying to find the link. MKX Benoid says, as for the Reddit toxicity, it's Reddit. Things need fixing surrounding XP, cosmetics, and many other aspects, but like, it's not the toxic comments that enact change. I agree with you. I need to make sure we're getting some new subs. If you're hitting the sub button so you can talk in chat. Art Noob says, when can we normalize paying beta testers again? Oh, it's an IGN article. But hang on. Where does it say that in this article? Joseph Staten clarified why the early release of the game's multiplayer mode is being treated as a beta until the full game's official release on December the 8th. 343 has also extended the multiplayer mode's first season battle pass. Do you have a direct quote for me? Our previous multiplayer technical previews went a long way to battle testing our service infrastructure, but as we prepare for a significant increase in the number of players jumping into the Halo Infinite on launch day, December the 8th, we want to ensure that our systems are good to go. While you may experience some bumps and bugs during this beta period, it does mark the official start of the Halo Infinite season with an all the day one maps and modes enabled. Yeah, I think you misread that, Akuta Papa. All the Battle Pass customization items you earn or purchase during the beta will stay with you after December the 8th. Yeah, okay. I was going to say, what in the actual fresh, what is going on? Like, there's no way they're doing that. So yeah, it's no longer a beta in 2 days. Snatchy Cakes with a $5 tip. Hit that like button if you like watching SNTR Gaming. Yeah, so for those of you that are new, I do a talk show like this Monday through Friday. Usually the talk show's in the morning, and we're doing gameplay in this time bracket, but we've been doing a lot of double headers. We've been doing 2 talk shows. So this morning we talked about New World. Now we're talking Halo. We talked a lot of Halo last week. We talk a lot about different games. Cyberpunk, Elden Ring. I am a safer work broadcaster, so if you enjoy this kind of content and you'd like it in your feed on a regular basis to come in and hang out with us, be sure to hit subscribe and the bell button so you don't miss these streams. Once you subscribe, you can talk in my chat, so we like welcoming in all the new people, seeing a lot of new names in chat, so thank you. 343 had a long time to get this right. Well, here's the thing, okay? I want to clarify my thoughts just for a second here. I am actually okay with a game launching and admitting, hey, we have some issues that we're going to have to be working on long term. I'm okay with that as long as they're being transparent. I'm okay with some of these games even sort of launching and being like, listen, you got to launch and just start accepting player feedback, so the game is going to be a little bit rough. This doesn't feel like that to me. This feels like a game that literally doesn't even have a vision of where it's going. And they misfired on so many of the basic things that it is concerning. You know? Unwound Admin coming in with a brand new membership. Thank you so much. If you guys want to support the channel directly, hit the join button. That's a paid membership. You get a badge, emotes, and increased access in our Discord. We're going to be doing some fun stuff with Halo Infinite multiplayer and shoutcasting and laughs and drinks on Friday night. So make sure if you are a member, you're in our Discord. We're trying to get the membership to hit about 400 members. We're in the mid 300s right now. Beta or not, a game like this is going to be worked on collectively and continuously, so we are going to see issues. We as a community have voiced our concern, and they have responded to their credit. Well, and you have to understand something too, MK Benoid. I am saying that I'm okay with that to a point, okay? To a point. I think you get to a certain level of like, what the frick? Where I think you're allowed to say, do you even know what you're doing? Who thought it was a good idea to not have Slayer? Who thought the Battle Pass's current structure was a good idea? Who thought, strangling XP and linking it to challenges was a good idea? Who thought charging for armor coatings that would only be applicable to one armor core was a good idea? Who thought any of these things were a good idea? You need to shake up your leadership and your vision casting, because whoever thought these things was a good idea doesn't understand the fundamentals of Halo and a good Battle Pass systems. These are basic. These are basic level things that you're screwing up. That's concerning. You have a decision maker somewhere that really, really messed up here. That's my take. Luro Ween says, very disappointed with Halo Infinite. The gameplay feels very generic, maps feel generic, and the netcode desync is so outrageous it doesn't even feel like there should be a ranked mode. The gameplay was getting a lot of praise. I'm worried that you guys are all... The narrative has changed. The narrative has changed. Last week it was, gameplay is great, Battle Pass and store are horrendous. Now everybody's saying the gameplay is bad, and it's probably because of the desync. And that's probably because of skill-based matchmaking is starting to fire, because you've played enough. People played for a day, and they're like, this is butter, this is smooth, this is great gameplay. A week later, they're all saying the opposite now. During the first 2 to 3 days, nobody was coming in here and telling me the gameplay was bad. I think people had their honeymoon period. I don't think it was a honeymoon period. I think generally skill-based matchmaking is leading to the desync increasing because you're getting regionally mismatched. For anecdotal record, I have had no gameplay issues. Okay. I mean, I didn't either, but I didn't play enough. I wish Harry was here. He could continue what I was saying. It just plain feels bad. I can have an amazing game and only get the minimum 50 XP, and some bot can go 5 and 20 and get 500 because he completed a challenge. Right. I'm trying to make sure if you're new and you say something that I try to give you a response here. I'm seeing a couple of new subs. I just want to make sure if they pipe up in chat that I give them a response here. We're getting a lot of new subs right now, so welcome in. We appreciate you hanging out here. SNTR Gaming is a show Monday through Friday where we cover a variety of gameplay topics. I am safe for work, so make sure that you're subscribed with the bell button if you like this kind of content. We do also do gameplay on this channel. Usually that's what we're doing right now. Leonidas says, skill-based matchmaking is 100% at fault. In Call of Duty, my ping's almost 100 and I have 1k down. Right, you're getting mismatched. Surely you are getting mismatched. Wheezy says, the ping is unbearable at times and getting killed behind walls is already tiring. German Sherman says, it's still a good game. I'm confused on why people are mad. I get the microtransactions, but we will be getting new maps and modes. I understand the micros are annoying, but it is a good game. Well, German Sherman, I don't necessarily think what you're saying is a refutation for people's frustrations, okay? So it's almost like, you know, it would be like going into a restaurant and having like a litany of complaints. The bathrooms are dirty, the wait staff is rude, and you're like, well, but they have a really good entree on the menu. Okay, but what does that have to do with my complaints? Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't want to dismiss your enjoyment of the game, but I also don't want to dismiss people's frustration just because people are enjoying their time. CPUP says, I'm wondering if the game will have DLC campaigns. Joseph Staten has indicated there will be an ongoing story that will be a part of their DLC plan. Yes. And he indicated that you will be playing those story missions as your Spartan. I have theorized that Master Chief will be getting an exit, as it were, and you'll be starting to play the expanded story as your Spartan. I personally think what they're going to do is they're going to have Master Chief become an AI to defeat Cortana, and then he'll be immortalized in the game as an AI or a voice or something, so you can have that presence, that classic Halo voice presence. But eventually, no, you're not playing as Master Chief. You're going to be playing as your Spartan. They want you invested in your Spartan. That's how the microtransactions, the armor customization, all that's built around the idea that, like, your Spartan becomes the centerpiece representation of your your character, right? That's what I think. Why is Warzone the most Xbox played game right now? I have no idea. I mean, they dropped a bunch of stuff. Maybe didn't they just do something? Didn't they just do a big free thing? Didn't they just do a big free thing and then they did something with Vanguard, didn't they? So like a Destiny type game. That's exactly right, the Final Cure. That's exactly right. I think they're going to try to become sort of a quasi-Destiny style game. Not a looter shooter, but a game where you have a character and things that you go and you do, and all these, and they'll expand the story, and that's how you get loyalty and investment. New map on the 8th. Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's the end of Verdansk events 2-day. That's right, they had an event going on. Yeah. I feel that between the time from the last year, August, and now to the delay was only for the campaign. Multiplayer has most likely been worked on less, with microtransactions being the main talking point. Right. Sherman says, I get that, but people are getting way too caught up on the micros. It's annoying, but not game ending. The ping is an issue, I agree, because dying behind the wall is annoying. Snowball effect is happening. Let me address you saying that the micros are not game ending. I want to address that, okay? For you, it might not be game ending. It might not be game ending, but let me explain something to you. If you want an ongoing multiplayer game to have a life, like a shelf life that's not terribly short, you have to get the ongoing incentive to be good and well executed. You must. If you don't get that aspect right, you're going to hurt the shelf life of your game. So you're saying it's not game ending. I'm saying it's game longevity damaging, because the base level expectation of how a battle pass is supposed to work, they're not even meeting that base level expectation in the general gaming community right now. A $5 tip from Mr. Pineapple Gaming. What people are upset about is the lack of playability and customization. If they make the armor universal on all cores and let us pick game mods. At a ground level, yes. The armor coding needs to be restructured. Yes. Forge not coming for another year will kill the game. I don't agree with that. I think that's an overstatement of the value of Forge. Forge is good, but I don't think the game dies or is killed by the lack of Forge. It certainly hurts, but I don't think that's accurate. It's literally death by 1,000 paper cuts. You get so many annoying things, and people are going to just have enough. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Look at Warframe with the customization. Well, it's a very different type of game, but sure. You're talking about the player freedom and volition to customize everything. Yes. I really only care about gunplay and gameplay, and Halo just feels like it's lagging behind the core elements. Oh, in core elements. I hate to make a comparison, but the netcode is a core system that needs to be fixed. Is it the netcode, or again, Luroween, if I put you in a game with pristine netcode and I mismatch you regionally, you're going to have desync and lag, are you not? Name a game with the best netcode on planet Earth. If I skill-based matchmake and mismatch you regionally, aren't you going to have desync and lag? Forge is the backbone to esports. Here's the dilemma that I have with saying that Forge is the backbone to esports. Forge was the runway to esports, the modern era of esports and what we enjoy now. Halo and Forge, pioneered that and was the runway for it. Is it integral to the success of Halo Infinite? I do not think so. I believe, logically, it's a non sequitur. It does not follow. Just because Forge was integral in the formation and the launching of esports does not mean it is integral and necessary for the success of Halo Infinite. I don't necessarily think they're logically connected. Mainly because they've already made big strides in getting the esports stuff off the ground and they have a bunch of orgs already signed on. Do you understand what I'm saying, Eugene? Forge paved the way to make that possible. It's possible now, so they don't really need Forge in order to have an esports scene. Does that make sense? I think my logic is sound here. I don't think... Is it a huge detriment, and does it hurt the game? Yes. Not having Forge is an optics blow. It hurts. But I don't think it's integral and needed. I think we're maybe overstating it a little bit, because esports scene's already built. I'm just burnt out with the grind and not being rewarded with awesome rewards for my time. Always burn out from the Destiny 1 grind and loot rewards. If it feels similar, sure. Sure. It seems like it's just another unfinished game completely. Multiplayer is missing Forge, game modes, and worse customization than Halo 3. Forge made custom maps, and it made tons of casual players join. Let me push back on that a little bit. You are not incorrect. However, do you know what's going to get a lot of casuals in the door with this game? Free to play. I don't know. I don't know if you need that. Like, oh yeah, gotta have Forge, gotta get those casuals in. I tell you how casuals are gonna get in the door. It's free. Anybody can play it. You just install it. I mean, you click a couple buttons, and it's yours. It's on your Xbox. It's Halo. People see Halo, they're gonna take a crack at it. George Jones says, they got a reaction from the community they deserve. I followed some other big-name Halo YouTubers. Some were having Reddit comments and posts removed that were not against the rules. That's such a quick way. That's just a quick route to death of a subreddit. That's such a quick route to death. Rodrigo says, if you can pay money in a game, it's not a beta. I don't think that's true. I understand why you would say that. I understand the principle you're outlining, but I don't know if that's true. They shouldn't have called this a beta. So you're right, and you're right, but I don't necessarily agree, right? You're right, but I don't necessarily agree. Here's why. It's more like early access. You're just getting in the game early, so you can buy stuff and get stuff and be ahead of the curve. The game's coming out in 2 days, so any progress you did, any money you spent, it's all honored. It's more like early access. They really just should not have called it a beta. Early access, you pay for the beta and they have stores. Right, it happens all the time. They just should stop calling this stuff a beta. It's just stupid. It's just disingenuous. It's not a beta. Just call it early access. Can we cut the beta nonsense? A beta is like what people were playing 9 months ago privately and giving feedback internally. That's a beta. The Matrix Awakens, an Unreal Engine 5 experience. Oh, it's not a game. Beta was the wrong choice, yeah. What happened with the Reddit? Major Toast, they disabled the Halo Reddit for 24 hours. It has since been turned back on. If you're just tuning in, every day I do a talk show like this. I cover the information you're looking for right at the beginning. So if you ever catch these streams when I'm not live, the first 5 minutes has all the goods, okay? I basically walk through what happened, what led to it, why they said they do it. Now, I did give feedback on the fact that, like, listen, toxicity in attack is not feedback. It's not warranted. However, I also called on 343 to not play a freaking shell game here. Like, don't act like, well, we had to shut down the forums because they were too toxic. Toxicity was too high on Reddit or whatever. And act like there wasn't good feedback in there as well. The worry that I have is the optics on it is, it's a broad brush. They're like painting with a super broad brush of like, well, yeah, we got too nasty. It's like, why didn't you just have good moderators on Reddit taking care of that? Like, that's the real question. Is it that hard to moderate a subreddit? You know what I mean? We got this many people. Can we get a coffee sale from an audience of this size? There's direct ways to support this broadcast, by the way. We have coffee that's ours. This isn't some other company that I work for. This gets shipped to my house, and my wife and children ship it to you. We have a holiday flavor and a light and a dark roast. All of our coffees balance acidity, and people in chat can testify how good it is. So it's a race. It's a race. Who's our first coffee order with a crowd this size? You keep shifting the goalpost. Okay, so what's Rusty saying? Are people leaving those games to play Halo? I know a lot of people that have tried it but no longer play. They just go back to whatever game they've dumped money in already. I'm trying to catch midstream what you guys are having a debate about. After listening to the same excuses in corporate PR BS from Blizzard, you can pick out the same patterns in 343 devs replying to criticism. Bad take. Lono, how can anyone possibly monitor an online forum? Wait, you're joking, right? You're joking, right? And Maury says, can't agree. Very smooth for all blends of coffee. Use the coffee command or go to ragelessroast.com if you'd like to order some. They make great stocking stuffers. And I am wearing a Christmas shirt from 80s Tees. I don't know Margot and those are disc plates. We're partnered with Displate and 80s Tees if you want to use the shirt command or the displate command or the links below in the description. Bounce acidity, nice. I'll order when I get paid. Coffee always kills my stomach. I've had multiple people tell me that they can't drink coffee because of their stomach, and they can drink mine. They can drink the light roast. I don't know about the dark roast, but I know a lot of people that can't drink coffee, and they can drink my light roast. So according to the vote, you guys are split. If you're new and haven't taken the poll at the top of the chat, Halo Reddit shutting down. Who's primarily to blame, the community or 343 Industries? Well, it's pretty clear that we're split on this one. Some of you guys are like, it's the community. Some of you guys are like, no, it's them. It's their fault. It's the devs' fault. You can drink coffee with your IBS? I don't know about that. If you get it to try it, do you have somebody you could give it to? It's really good coffee. I'd hate to have you get it and not be able to drink it. Like, I don't know. I mean, IBS has probably got too many triggers. My armchair understanding is that you probably wouldn't be able to. Bet with a 10-month subscription renewal, a 10 months of membership, that is. I've been playing the early access Halo multiplayer, and the progression system is 100% set up to encourage you to pay for level skips in the past. Thank you for 10 months. Now, when I read the community manager's post about that, so the Halo Infinite Battle Pass had come into like a lot of criticism, and this guy goes on Halo Reddit before the Halo Reddit shutdown, okay? And he's essentially saying that that's not true. That's not how we set this up with respect to like trying to get people to pay for challenge swaps and stuff. And I'm like, okay, hang on just a moment with me, okay? I want you to track with me logically. Why would you be selling a challenge swap if you didn't anticipate that being something that a player would want? You're not selling something. It's not a vanity item. Okay? It's not a vanity item. You are not selling a vanity item. You are selling an item that will meet and resolve a pain point. And that is why I found his remarks to be disingenuous. I was like, excuse me? You're literally selling something that solves a problem. It's not a vanity item. Now, double XP or XP boosts, you could say, well, they're strangling XP on purpose and that's why they're selling that. That's a little harder, I think, to make that case. I can very easily make the case that you are literally selling something that is not a vanity item. It is designed to solve a problem that you designed. It would be like going into a restaurant and they're like, we sell bibs to wear in case your water, spills on you. And you would think, I'm a grown person. Why would I need that bib? And then the cups are designed for dribbling to happen. They got like holes in them. You're like, well, now wait a minute. You're selling an item that solves a designed pain point. So get the frick out of here with this claim like, well, that wasn't designed that way. Yes, it was. 100%, this is what I said last week. It was deliberately created to incentivize buying the swaps because the challenges are created to make friction with the single playlist. Isn't buying a level tier selling XP, though? A level tier on what, like the battle pass on like a Fortnite or something? Sure, but there's a difference between... Okay, hang on, though. I think there's a categorical difference between spending money to bypass a grind because you just want to get the items right away, okay? So what you're doing in that regard, creature, is I can grind if I want, or I can pay to bypass the grind. That's not the same as creating challenges that must be completed, and then you can just pay to swap out the challenge and get a different one. It's if they were selling like RNG dice rolls to be like, your next level is going to take 1,000 XP, buy an RNG XP dice roll, and maybe it'll require less XP. What? Like, selling a challenge swap just seems insane to me. It's like, you're the ones that created the challenges. Why are you monetizing me not wanting to do them, and then I can get another one? Fortnite you can? Yeah, in Fortnite you can buy, like, you can fill out your entire battle pass day one if you don't feel like grinding. I don't think that's the same as selling a challenge swap. That's a categorical difference in my mind. Every game has XP, every game has progress, and being like, yeah, do you want to spend money to skip? Go for it, if that's your purview. This isn't skipping, this is, can I have a different challenge? This one sucks. But by creating that option, you incentivize them to make the earn route painful and a bad experience to make it by their tier levels. That is not actually true, though, Distorted. Fortnite doesn't do that. Fortnite doesn't make their earn rates bad. I never felt like my battle pass in Fortnite was going ridiculously slow. I felt like it was fine. Now, you might be saying that's true of the Halo situation. Yeah. I actually... Okay, let's be clear, too, on this. I think their slowness on the battle pass is more in relation to the fact that they have to stretch the season for 6 months. That's not designed necessarily to get you buying XP boosts, right? I actually think I'm going to defend them a little bit and say, now hang on a minute. Is it a bad decision? Sure, but it's not as sinister as you might think. I think the battle pass is slowly... like drawn out more because the season's supposed to last for 6 months, right? That's the culprit, all right? Now, in the realm of challenge swaps, you can literally get the frick out of here if you expect me to believe that that's not a design pain point that's supposed to motivate spending. That's literally what you have built. You can pay to swap challenges in Apex. Yeah, and I would say the same thing if a Respawn CM came out and said, we didn't design this to motivate spending. I'd be like, shut the frick up. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Don't insult my intelligence, please. Please don't insult my intelligence. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. A bag of the Frickmas blend sold to Sergio. Thank you, Sergio. Second coffee order of the day. We greatly appreciate it. Apex also gives free rolls on their challenges. Oh, really? Isn't a season typically 3 months? Yes. Like, I think that's the issue here. I think we need to be careful. This is something I've always been very, very firm on. Let's make good and accurate criticisms. Let's not claim there's a sinister plot to make money under every rock. That's not helpful. Basito with 4 months. Out of the loop for Halo Infinite. Hope the game settles as a dope one. Halo fans deserve it. Double dippers, raise your hand. Thank you for double dipping and having a membership on 2 of my channels. I appreciate that. George Jones says, more content in the Battle Pass, fair pricing in the store, playlist selections, challenges should be for like a weekly item and provide bonus XP towards progression. Yeah, George, here's the thing. I think what you just outlined is so reasonable. It's so painfully reasonable. It's like, you know what I mean? Come on. Respawn co-founding member Chad is leaving the studio after an unforgettable ride. I think he's just moving on to something else. I don't think there's a problem. I don't think there's a problem there. A for-profit company attempting to make money? You don't say. For sure. Oh, you're talking about someone else. Also for me, says Eugene, I can't forget that this is supposed to be Halo. Are we holding it to the standard or just the free-to-play shooter standard? Yeah. No, I think that's another part of this. Sure. Yeah. It's like, well, come on. Like, this is supposed to be Halo. And listen, I would be willing to grant the idea that once you go free to play, your monetization changes. But that doesn't mean that the substance and the vision has to be this poor. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, yo, thank you, Fet44 with a $10 tip. Overall feeling of the Battle Pass as it currently stands is not breathtaking. Thank you for the $10 tip. Like, I don't think anybody would have balked at the Battle Pass and a micro-spending store because it's a free-to-play game. Then I'm like, well, sure, that's going to be part of the monetization structure. Anybody with a brain would have been like, yeah, that makes sense. That's not the issue. My issue is when I zoom out on this, I'm like, you guys have a vision problem. It's like, who is making the decisions on this stuff? That person either needs to be put into a different department or replaced. I don't call for people to be fired. I'm not a child, like, take their job. They should be fired. I'm merely saying, if you're going to diagnose this problem comes down to a vision problem. You have a vision problem, which means you've got to go to decision-making levels in the company and figure out where is the dissonance. Where is the problem? And you either realign the vision or you replace that person. Because if not, we're going to be having the same conversation in 6 months. We're going to be saying, why on earth would you do this? This doesn't make any sense. Fundamentals of a battle pass are just not right. How do you get this wrong? The Master Chief Collection was praised. Its Battle Pass was praised. There's a litany of games out right now with Battle Passes that you could take inspiration from. The frick is going on? This sounds like a high-level, decision-level problem. The guy who said, let's release half now and half in May, he needs a new role in the company, maybe one with a mop. Yeah, I don't know about that. I just came, but I already like your opinion. Thank you. If you're new, this is what we do. I am a safe for work broadcaster. A lot of people throw me on in the background like video game radio. Monday through Friday, we cover a variety of gaming topics. Halo's gotten a lot of coverage from me recently. New World, Elden Ring, even some Cyberpunk stuff recently, Titanfall 3. It's been really, really enjoyable. We appreciate all the new folks. This is a Monday through Friday show. Usually the morning is the talk show, and right now the afternoon is gameplay, but we've been doing less gameplay just because there's not much. Like this week, obviously, you're going to be able to see tons of Halo gameplay for me because I want to play the campaign. I don't think the store should be selling existing armor in the store. It should be a place for cool new designs like the cat ear helmet. Now, here's the thing, though, Brandon, is a lot of people would disagree with you. They would say, no, make everything earnable. Did I cover Biomutant? Yes, I did. That game was rough. What's absolutely baffling, says Matt Anagi, is they had all this perfect in the Master Chief Collection, and they got it all wrong in Infinite. It's like they took all of the amazing feedback from the Master Chief Collection and they threw it out. I think that's the indictment. Is it not? I'm not saying the store shouldn't have new stuff or stuff that's not earnable, but I'm saying I think people are okay with them selling stuff that's earnable. I don't think people are opposed to that. Like, you can either earn it or buy it. I think that's fine. But I also think it's totally fine to just very regularly inject it with new pretty stuff because you got to make money, and it's totally okay to sell vanity items. This isn't Microsoft, this is 343. All the systems are intertwined. They feed off of each other. It's all calculated. This isn't some big exec coming, making a change. I don't know what you mean by that, Eugene. The overall battle pass says, Chimichanga says, the overall battle pass and the way to get us consumers to buy things in-game, ranging from challenge swaps to colors and response to that, is what's really hurting the community in the game. Yeah, I agree with that. I 100% agree with you. This is very similar to my issue with New World this morning, is some of this comes down to clear vision and communication. You know what I mean? The big exec could have said, make it painful and slow so that they pay, though. It's possible. It's possible. They came out and said they weren't going to have it set up in this way. That's, I think, what's hurting them even more. It makes it worse. It's like, you guys gave us assurances that you wouldn't be set up in this way. I disagree. The core Halo community is not complaining. You serious, Clark? You sure about that? My chat is not the community. But if you take Reddit, my chat, and forums and Twitter, I don't know. People like to just throw around big suit, mess this up. This was a project design vision from the top down. It's baked into the fabric of the entire game. Well, but that's what I'm saying, Eugene. I understand that when I'm saying this comes from a vision casting decision making level, that's what I'm saying. You have somebody at a decision making level casting this vision, and it's bad. And I'm not denying it's baked into the crust. I'm in agreement with that. That's why they can't just fix it quickly. Somebody somewhere cast a vision for challenge-based progress on the battle pass, and somebody should have been like, no, that's a dumb idea. That got baked into the vision in the project and the way that they built the game. So when I say it comes from a vision casting, like, decision-making level, I'm not saying it's some big suit in a room being like, you know, hey, make it painful and slow. I'm saying, no. You have project leads. You have guys in decision-making capacities that drove this ship, and they either need to be changed, removed, replaced, or if this is your vision, it ain't looking good. I don't think this is I don't think this game's long for this world if they stay on this path. People like to say it's Microsoft. It's not. This is 343. Don't pawn this off on Microsoft. Right. Not saying you are. Okay, now I understand what you're pushing back on, Eugene. You said that after I said this was from a decision level area, and I was like, I'm not saying it's a suit or a disconnected C-suite employee that did this. Akuda Papa says, I'm a core Halo community member, and I've been complaining about 90% of the Reddit things since the second tech test. That's what I'm talking about. The tech tests. Okay, let's go back then. Let's go back. Really, let's think. The core Halo community's not complaining. I have proof that that is not accurate, and I will start with the threat detector versus radar. That was very clearly a misfire. And to their credit, they rectified it, but that's when I said, go back and watch my content. I said back then, this is concerning. This is concerning. If their vision from the game is this mismatch with base level, community expectations, this could lead to a whole host of problems. And here we sit. That's exactly what's going on. There are vision level decisions that are not lining up with base level community expectations. I said this when they went from... See, because it's easy to celebrate that, right? Yo, Skill Tree Gaming with a $5 tip. I just want ranked Slayer, right? I feel bad for all the people that want Slayer. It would have been really easy back then just to celebrate that. Oh, 343 accepts the feedback from the community, and instead of doing a threat detector, they're opting for a more traditional Halo radar. Yay! That's how the press ran with it, right? They ran with it as a positive. I looked at it from a completely different perspective. I said, yes, to their credit, they deserve to be praised for hearing this feedback and making a change. However, you have to ask the question, how did it even get to this being a needed piece of feedback? That seems like a pretty sharp departure from what the base level community wants to see. Fast forward to today. Not having Slayer, man, that sure smells like the same stink, doesn't it? It's like, the frick? You thought not having Slayer was gonna work. Okay? Okay. Do you know what the community wants? Do you know what they're asking for? Do you know what they're going to expect? Then let's look at the battle pass. Compared to virtually every battle pass in existence. And it doesn't stack up as far as like just base level expectations in the public right now for what a battle pass should look like. It's not up to snuff. What the frick is this? Again, you go back to the question of, where's the vision? Who thought this was a good idea? Then look at the store breakdown. When you compare this micro-spending store to other micro-spending stores, what in the world? So I can buy an armor coating. Yep, you can. And I can use it on my armor? Well, kind of. You can use it on this armor and this armor only. Huh? Huh? Dave Chappelle. Huh? You selling red and blue for one armor core? I can't fathom the motives to not having individual ranked playlists. If this game comes even close to Halo 5's post-game content, that we should get a bunch of cool weapons like Hunter, arm cannons, and flamethrower, I'm not even worried about that. They got to get the game off the ground and have a healthy player base before that happens. We hear you loud and clear on Transmog. We're pleased to announce the next update, you'll be able to use any armor set. This is going to be a rough launch if they don't have Slayer on top and no Forge or co-op. Would you agree that the Master Chief Collection Battle Pass was successful? Yeah. That the overwhelming majority, like, go back, Fliz, when they announced the FOMO stands for fear of missing out. So when they outlined that Halo Infinite's Battle Pass would have no FOMO, you could always go back and run another Battle Pass if you wanted, okay? When that happened, I heard time and time and time again, oh, that's great. They have done such a good job with the Master Chief Collection Battle Pass. That was like the unanimous feedback I heard. Oh, that's great that they're doing that. Not only is that a great standard, but the Master Chief Battle Pass, the Master Chief Collection Battle Pass, has really come a long way. They've done such good things with it. Like, that was the overwhelming piece of feedback that I got from people. I was like, oh, wow, that's good to hear. No, it's absolutely baffling. It's like, what happened? What? Okay, would you agree the Master Chief Battle Pass was played by and rated by the core Halo community? Yeah, I would imagine that those were the people. I know what you're doing, by the way, so I'm not asleep to what you're trying to do. You're trying to walk along me to your conclusion. It's not going to work. Yeah, the core Halo community, they're the ones that provided that feedback to me and said, yeah, they did a good job with the Master Chief Battle Pass. It was great. Those same people are in my Discord and chat today saying that this Battle Pass is terrible. Those same people are coming in and providing that feedback. People love Halo Master Chief Collection. I'm not hearing that same feedback about Halo Infinite. Right, like, so what do you think happened? Do you think a bunch of non-Halo fans appeared out of thin air and stormed the castle on Reddit and ruined all of the positive vibes? Is that what you think happened? Is your theory that, well, this isn't the core Halo audience. The core Halo audience is drinking this up like it's tasty pudding, but everybody else is just non-core Halo fans, and they're just ruining the good vibes and the good times. How dismissive people are. Like, I saw Golden Boy get on a tweet last night and make a remark about how toxic, Reddit was and how bad it was. And I'm like, Alex, don't do that. Don't do that. You're a bright guy, super talented guy. You're probably going to shoutcast some events for Halo. Don't do that. Don't fall prey to the idea that we can just dismiss feedback because there's a handful of of nasty people, of toxic people. So where do these people come from then? If their feedback's not legitimate, if they're just being toxic, if the core Halo community is not complaining, would you agree that the Master Chief Collection Battle Pass's success did not attract as many new players as Infinite has? I have no idea why you're comparing the two. I have no idea why you're comparing the two. Because the Halo Infinite is free to play and it's new. The core Halo community supporting the Master Chief Collection, that makes perfect sense to me. New people, you're making a terrible comparison, homie. Of course new people aren't going back and playing the Master Chief Collection. The Master Chief Collection is a love letter to the Halo community. It's not there for new people. It isn't. If you've never touched Halo before, the Master Chief Collection is probably not going to appeal to you. It's old. It looks shiny, but it's old. Nobody with the $20 tip. I appreciate your takes and your discussion with the chat. Not afraid to disagree with your chat. It's a fresh experience instead of always agreeing. I appreciate that. Thank you. We keep it civil and kind and logical, but yeah, I disagree with chat all the time. I will be playing and reviewing the Infinite campaign when it comes out. Yes, sir. Yes. What they need to do is release, hey, thank you for your feedback, Halo fans. We'll work on making the monetizations and Battle Pass in the game to be more better at and 10 times more reasonable for everyone. Well, you got to be careful with your phrasing, but right. Master Chief Collection is older Halo games. Infinite's a brand new game that will attract different audiences. You can't really compare the two. Yeah, and one costs money and the other doesn't. One costs money and the other doesn't. That would be like saying, well, you know, the remastered collection of Crysis really didn't attract a lot of new players, and then there's like a brand new free-to-play Crysis game out. Well, yeah, of course it's going to attract way more new players. It's new, it's shiny, it's free. If a game has Halo in the title, I can compare to previous titles. Any suggestion otherwise is ridiculous. Your broad assertion's more ridiculous than anything. Yes, you can compare all Halo games. To compare the Master Chief Collection and Halo Infinite with respect to new player acquisition is an absurd comparison. It's a false equivalency. You're trying, like, of course, yes, it's a no-brainer that a free-to-play brand new game is bringing in more new players than a old collection of remastered Halo games that costs money to play. You didn't listen to me? Okay, Master Chief Collection is free to play as well. I think the voice of the gamers in general is negative towards Infinite because it attracts everyone, but I disagree that the core community is unhappy. It's as unhappy as chat portrays. When did Master Chief Collection become free? When did it become free? What a ridiculous take. Intellectually dishonest. You know what we are talking about? If you're talking to me, you better spell that out. Because if you're going to accuse me of being intellectually dishonest, I would love some clarity on that. Assertions are beautiful, but they're also fragile. Like, you got to argue that. Master Chief Collection's on Game Pass. Master Chief Collection is free. Oh, it's on Game Pass. That's not free. Halo Infinite multiplayer is free to play, no Game Pass required. Again, you are making a false equivalency. Oh, Distorted's talking to somebody else. I thought you were talking to me. I was like, what the frick? I was like, how am I being intellectually dishonest? If Master Chief gets free, then it'll get crazy toxic. Yeah, Game Pass costs money. The Halo Infinite campaign, you need to have Game Pass for. That is true. The person saying you can compare all Halo titles. Right. Well, listen. You can compare anything you want. You can. I'm saying the comparison doesn't do us anything for any sort of sense of discovery or illumination. It's so brain dead obvious. Yes, a free-to-play $0 required brand new Halo Infinite multiplayer experience has more new players flocking to it than the Master Chief Collection. Yeah. Why that comparison doesn't prove a point. It doesn't prove a point is what I'm saying. You consider Game Pass free? Okay, I consider Netflix free. Are we just going to say things that aren't rooted in reality? I can go watch Downton Abbey right now for free. How do you do that, Lono? Well, I have a Netflix subscription, but I consider Netflix to be free. What? Come on, bro. Come on. The comparison between game in terms of customization is what makes Halo Infinite a disappointment. Well, hear me out here, Lucas. You are welcome to compare the Master Chief Collection Battle Pass and customization to Halo Infinite's Battle Pass and customization. You have every right to do that. Don't mishear what I was saying. He was drawing a comparison with respect to new player acquisition, and I was like, that doesn't prove anything. Comparing that is silly. You wouldn't watch Downton if it was free? Oh, I've enjoyed it very much with my wife. Comparing does have value. It shows you that the free-to-play model doesn't actually give us more compared to the past. Yes and no. OJ, is it because it's free-to-play or is it because it's not ready? Which do you think is the more likely explanation? I'm being dead serious. Which do you think, right? I'm not mocking you, Fliz. I'm poking at you in good nature. I'm just poking at you. You're the one that wanted to ask me a bunch of questions like you're a freaking lawyer. And yes or no, do you think this is true? And I'm like, yes. And okay, next question. Do you think this is... Don't be leading me. And get your chat mocking me. Homie, you better buckle up. This is the internet. You better buckle up. Better buckle up. The internet's a lot more harsh than the treatment that you just got. You got a pretty friendly, ribbing. You didn't get... No one's being cruel or unnecessarily unkind to you. You better chin up, man. It's so biased. Buckle up for what? The internet. It's rough waters. What do you mean? You're going to get teased and mocked. That's the internet, brother. Wait, what are you doing? Are you going to go play in the NBA or the NFL and get angry because somebody's jawing at you? It's part of the game, man. You're on the internet, bro. You're going to get teased and mocked. It was so light. It was so lighthearted. Nobody was mean to you or unkind. After this discussion, would be better to focus on making our demands and complaints for 343 to listen loud and clear. All I want is a good game at the end of the day and not being scammed by the season pass. I don't think the season pass is a scam. I think it's built very, very poorly. Right? I'm actually people surprised they disagree with him. So many Xbox fans consider Game Pass to be free. Well, right, but Loot, again, get to the heart of the logic of the argument. The logic of the argument being that Halo Infinite multiplayer is free to play, $0 required. How many people own an Xbox? It's significantly greater than the 18 to 20 million that have Game Pass, right? You don't need any of that for Infinite. That's what I was taking issue with. Battle Pass is just boring. Do you remember this email? No. And why did you write it? I don't remember. And why did you send it to these people? I don't remember. I have an Xbox without any subservice. Right. So that's what I mean, Loot. He was talking about the new player acquisition, and I was just like, that has no bearing on the discussion because they're in such different categories, right? Okay, this is his argument. If I'm going to try and argue for him, let me be overwhelmingly charitable to Fliz, because I ruffled his feathers, I guess. Let me be more charitable then. What Fliz was attempting to argue was these complaints aren't coming from the core community because Infinite has a large number of new players funneling into it, and that's where these complaints are coming from. I don't agree with that take at all. Because I think so much of the complaint is rooted in the fact that you got this right in the Master Chief Collection. What the frick are you doing? And that's not going to come from a new player. That's coming from an established core member of the Halo community. Therefore, I feel your argument is defunct. I understand where you were going with it. There's more new people coming into Halo Infinite and therefore frustrated by the systems and the setup. And you think the core community's not that upset. The logic of all of us expecting 343 to even listen to us or companies anyways on a free game is off. We're mad because we know they don't care? Wait. Huh? We expect 343 to listen to us on our complaints on a free game. Yeah, I do expect them to listen to us. Don't you think this game's going to rise and fall on having people actually playing the game and enjoying it? What do you mean? Wait, people provided feedback on Fortnite. Courage, they don't let Courage shoutcast or host their events anymore because he said F the Max because people hated the Max. Like, what do you mean? People provided feedback all the time on Fortnite, and a lot of that feedback was implemented because it was a free-to-play game, and if you don't implement the feedback of the player base and develop a symbiosis between the player's experience feedback and what you implement in the game, then you're not going to have a game for very long. What do you think the likelihoods are of 343 Reddit ban having a Streisand effect on toxicity? That was brought up earlier, Jason. I think it's an excellent point and potential observation of what might happen. Yeah. Oh, you're going to make us be quiet for a day? Okay. And then they'll all rub their hands together. Sure. Yep. Could have the complete inverse effect. The optics on it's terrible. It's terrible. You should have buckled down, had your moderators step up their game, and then weather it. It's the week of the launch. What are you doing? What do you do? Do you know what you've just done? I'll tell you what you've just done. You've made it a fatal flaw that Bungie fell prey to as well. You have now created a narrative of it's them versus us. Huge mistake. Huge mistake. I'm not trying to overstate what happened and create like this hyperbolic sky is falling reality, but you just during the launch week laid the groundwork for an us versus them narrative, and that is not what you want for your game if it's going to last. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. Bungie's been trying to shake that for years, and they deserve it. I mean, they've made that bed. Their CMs and their behavior and the way they interact with the public and their community, they can wear that. I'm confused, says 30. 343 released it early to get feedback. They got feedback, good and bad. They closed down the Reddit server. Yeah, claiming it got too toxic. Right. The answer to a rise in toxicity on Reddit would have been a rise in moderation, not shutting down a feedback funnel. I'm not justifying death threats, doxing, or hatred towards devs or anyone, but it does feel a little old for online personalities to pull the I got death threats, Reddit gets locked card. Right. Yes, exactly. Exactly. You got to increase your moderation. Nobody in their right mind is going to say that devs and CMs should have to endure that treatment. Bull. I liked when the guy from Apex clapped back and was like, you think that we're just supposed to sit here and listen to your toxicity and your nastiness? No. They should stand up for themselves when that kind of crap happens. But the way you keep the fog of war thin and the communication lines open is good moderation. You're never going to win by fighting back. Do you see? If they would have fought back and stood up for themselves, which they kind of tried to do in sort of a passive, kind of a smarmy way with the one post, look at what happened. It probably increased the toxicity. Why? Because you fought back. Doesn't work. Do you know what happens when I fight back against a troll? Do you know what happens? Eventually we ban them. Why? Because they're just going to hijack chat for forever. I fight back and bite back knowing I can ban them when I'm done with them. I can play with my food and throw it out. So you can't fight back on a Reddit like that unless you're not going to couple it with moderation. If you fight back and say, listen, this kind of behavior is not tolerated. You're not going to come in here and talk to CMs and devs like this. Boom, 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 boom. Start deleting stuff. Start banning people. That's how you solve that problem. What you've done now is you've created this perception of, if you guys come at us with too much negativity, we're going to shut down the Reddit house. It's all about the optics. Even if that's not fair, right? I'm sitting here telling you that's not fair. It's unfair for people to claim 343 doesn't want feedback. When they got negative feedback, they shut down Reddit. That's not a fair conclusion, but boy, you better bet that's a conclusion people have come to. Is this your first rodeo with dealing with the public? Because it sure seems like it. This was not the move. This wasn't the move. These people will run with this false narrative for the next 3 years. Yeah, can't give any negative feedback. They'll just shut down the forums. 343's too fragile. That's the narrative for the next 3 years. And it's to be blamed on, not just having good moderation and shutting down Reddit. Like, why would you do that? Why would you think that was a good idea? These complaints are a result of exposure period, and that's the Master Chief Collection success is probably only because of the core community. Not that everyone else is magically negative, but that the model that works for a small group doesn't necessarily scale. I'm confused though, Fliz. Wouldn't you readily admit that they've completely structured things differently in this game than the Master Chief Collection? The general consensus that I get from this is that the core community feels like it's a giant departure from the Master Chief Collection. Right? That comparison point could only logically come from the core community. People that have experience with the Master Chief Collection. The only way you're going to make a definitive point of comparison between the two, the only way you're going to make that definitive point of comparison is if you've actually played. So that has to be coming from the core community. Yeah, Alarian's saying they got it right in a more limited model and they changed said model, and the larger community is saying, hey, this small model was better. I think that the battle... we have to be specific in our criticism. I think the battle pass problems and structural... I guess we would call it structural stupidity. It's just structured in a very stupid way. It's because of the season being 6 months long. Right? Imagine if you had friends coming over for lunch and you suddenly realized that you needed the food you were going to be providing them to last for 6 hours, and you were originally planning to have it last for 3 hours. That would dramatically affect how the food is received. They'd be like, what the frick? So I'm getting something every 60 minutes and it's pretty meager? Why would I eat in this way? Well, we were considering having a dining experience that was only going to last 3 hours. So it doesn't matter how tasty the food is. Everything's coming out in a very odd way. Lono, whoever banned me is a coward, full stop. Also, Lono banned 2,000 people on Twitter and hundreds on YouTube. What does that make you? Let's not be intellectually dishonest. You know, it's interesting that you're trying to wax intellectual, and you're clearly not. But I'll engage with you since you're spamming like a child who wants his mom to change his wet diaper, okay? Let me engage with you, because I think it's worth smacking a stupid person around sometimes, okay? There's a giant difference between me publicly banning someone and owning it. I'll ban people in my chat like, I just banned you because you're scum. Okay? Owning that in the public. I'm here in the street owning it. Like an adult. Okay? Doing something in the background, not the same. Cowardice. dishonest cowardice. I'm here in the street, full integrity, honesty, facing things with the truth in my gut and in my hand. Nobody that you are apparently defending did that. So get the frick out and don't you ever come back. I still have all the documentation of you messing with my wife on Facebook. So you better step lightly. You better frickin' step lightly. Master Chief Collection is the reason a lot of people trusted them with this and had faith. That's what I'm saying. The only way people are going to enter Halo Infinite in its current state and have a point of criticism, the only way you're going to do that is if you played the Master Chief Collection. Do you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't get that. I don't get the idea that, like, the core Halo community is totally fine with this. Where are you seeing that? Like, okay, as an example, I'll tell you an example. Zubair, I'll give you an example. The first week that the Halo Infinite multiplayer beta, the first week that it was out, it was very clear that everyone was enjoying the gameplay. And the same people that were talking about how good the gameplay was, now they're all coming back and saying, it's bad, it's desync, it's lag, it's got all these bad things about it. Well, okay, so what are they then? Are they not the core Halo community? Are they exaggerating? Like, I don't understand. I genuinely am curious about that. Like, people jumped in week one and they're like, yeah, the game is great. Gameplay, the entire narrative last week, we covered this game multiple times last week, and the narrative the entire time was, game feels great, what the frick is going on with the store and the battle pass? And now here we are this week, and I'm hearing a complete change in the narrative. Omega says, I feel we should have seen this style of monetization coming from the announcement of armor coatings. I can tell you for sure, core Halo community did not like the coatings. Well, and the issue with the coatings is, like, it's fine to sell coatings, but you're going to sell coatings that are only applicable to one core. That's weird. Gameplay's so good, no desync here. Mo, that's fine. I said the same thing. I've not had any issues with desync. What it seems like desync is a result of is skill-based matchmaking creating region mismatch, and then you have lag and desync, because if you're on a server with people that shouldn't be there, then it's going to create delay and lag and latency. Like, host to client resolutions are going to be janky, and so you're going to be like, what the frick, I meleeed that guy. What in the world, I shot that guy? No, you didn't. You're watching a magic trick because he's doesn't have a good connection to the server. He's from another region or whatever. Does that make sense? Or maybe you don't have a good connection to the server because you've been region mismatched. That's what I think is going on. That's why I think some people are like, I haven't had a single instance of desync. You probably aren't getting region mismatched then. So I think that's an easier fix. They can push out something that says, okay, we're not going to region mismatch on the basis of, the way that we do skill-based matchmaking. You're going to have to restrict that so that doesn't happen. Can you imagine if you had to unlock a different shader for every armor set in Destiny? Oh, it'd be absurd. Mantis says, LOL, desync here, Lono. I'm Diamond 5. Skill-based matchmaking is definitely a thing. Yeah, that's what it's coming from. The part that really confused me from 343, says Hilly, when they discuss adding playlist being technically difficult. Like, how can that be? Is the UI that complicated? I understand them not wanting playlists to die quickly, but they had that in Master Chief Collection with the Action Sack Hopper. Bundle the wacky and separate. Bundle the wacky, separate Slayer just like in Master Chief Collection. I can't believe this will take serious time unless I'm missing something major. Like, if they just remove the filter in Master Chief Collection to drop individual game modes and you're done. That's another somebody that I would consider from the core Halo community making a very valid point. Like, why is this so difficult? Why? What? Giving Slayer an individual hopper? Bundle the wacky is what he means. That's fair, selling coatings for a free-to-play model. It's just odd to charge for that level of customization for people who pay full price for the game. Coatings would be way cooler if we could make them. Again, or you could buy it once and then that's the end of the matter. If you just love the color orange and you want to look orange no matter what armor you're wearing, it's totally fine to either earn or buy orange. Like, that's fine. That's totally fine. What annoys me the most is them saying we're going to add new modes when they're not new modes at all. They're just modes that are missing in the first place. Eugene says, why would they do this right before... I'm sorry, 30 says, why would they do this right before the release date, Lono? You think that they were trying to divert attention or something? Well, this Eugene's theory is right here. The sub was about to explode. Just before the shutdown, there was a very patronizing and poor taste post from the CM that was just revealed, and it was just revealed that the battle pass was cut from 120 to 100. Yeah, so basically, it became known that, like, they had ripped stuff out of the battle pass, and people were irritated. And as that irritation hit like a filter, right? As it not a filter, as it hit a fever pitch, they shut it down. And they say, you know, oh well, this is just too toxic. So that's what happened. Which, yeah, it's a terrible... the optics on it's terrible the week of the launch. I can't imagine 343... I just thinking that was a good idea. Let's just shut down the Reddit the week of the launch for 24 hours. You're bypassing the doxing all the other crap. It has nothing to do with the battle pass. So you think that guy made that post, Paul, and this didn't have anything to do with his post? Like, he poked the hornet's nest? I read his post. It wasn't. I didn't feel like he was helping. Again, I'm not bypassing the doxing. I've addressed that. If you have people on your subreddit threatening and doxing, you have to moderate that. If that's an excuse to shut down any subreddit, then no subreddit can stay open. Like, what are you talking about? If that's all you need to shut a subreddit, then how are subreddits not shut every other frickin' day? Anytime somebody gets angry, anytime somebody oversteps, anytime there's a debate or a discussion going on, come on. There would be no subreddits. Blows me away when companies have a feature that was in another one of their games and then they remove it in the next game. Right? By the way, if you're enjoying the talk show, remember, if you need to hit subscribe if you want to talk in the chat, so feel free to do that. Hit subscribe. We welcome discussion. We welcome disagreement. I do a talk show like this Monday through Friday. It's safe for work. We're having a good day today discussing this. I like your thumbnails, man. I just found your live trending on my YouTube front page. Gonna check your content out. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, if you're new and you saw me on trending or suggested today, we appreciate you coming on in. A lot of new folks today in the discussion. We discuss more than just Halo. I do this content Monday through Friday. So if you want it in your sub feed, make sure and hit subscribe, hit the bell button. There's ways to support directly with a paid membership, or if you buy shirts from 80s Tees, you can use my code, or disc plates, or my coffee. If you have any opinions about them having 91 store bundles leak, and they're ready to sell as store exclusives for content, yet they can't focus on adding actual content such as modes like SWAT. Yeah, I have commentary on that. It's a little concerning if a multiplayer game struggles to add game modes to the playlist. Like, I don't understand that. Are there other multiplayer games out there that could add context and help here? Like, why would that be so challenging? I don't understand. What lack of agility have you baked into your game that it's really, really tough to add game modes? What? Huh? What have you done? Adding game modes to a multiplayer game? Hey, good to see you, Winterfell. Thank you for the brand new membership. Enjoy the dope badge and emotes. You're dope and deserve dope stuff. If you guys want to become a paying member, they start at $5 a month. You get a badge, you get emotes, you get increased access in our Discord. We are going to try and do something this Friday night with Halo Infinite multiplayer and custom games with the community. We're probably going to limit that to members. They added Fiesta seamlessly. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand. I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense. It's like, how is this difficult? The guy literally posted and said it's actually more difficult than we would think. The other playlists are new experiences and they take time. Those are Sketch's words, by the way. That's what I'm saying. How is Slayer a new experience and it takes time? I don't get that. I don't think it's hard at all, says Kit Kat. It just takes time. But why though? Like, do you understand my concern, Kit Kat? That like, if your game is gonna lack, I'm calling it agility. So let me be clear. I'm not saying it's hard. I'm saying you don't have the agility to just add a game mode? Huh? You're a multiplayer game. What are you talking about? That you should be very agile in this regard. This should be something you should be able to do quickly. I mean, they could flesh it out and maybe explain why it's not that simple. That just seems weird. It's not difficult to add. They just need more time to figure out how to maximize the microtransactions. I don't understand. Blue Bandit says, finished my weekly challenges 2 days ago, and now I just play 6 matches with double XP, and then I quit until the next day. Yeah, like, and do you feel like you're choosing that on your own accord, or are you just doing that because it's the best way to play? Do you feel like you've been sort of paternalistically pushed into that? Or are you playing because you think this is how I want to play? Right now, if you were able to pick game modes, you would be able to complete the XP tasks faster. Slayer is in all the other Halo games. What's so hard? That's what I'm saying, Black Superman. Like, how is this a struggle? It's concerning. Where's the agility? The game just came out. There's probably a lot more stuff higher on the priority list. Okay, I've made this point a lot, so you may have just got here. I'll restate my case. I don't mind doing that because it's a live stream. We've been live for about 2 hours. Okay. Here's where that makes me. I get very concerned about that, Kit Kat. That means somewhere at a vision level, at a decision-making level, somebody thought it was a good idea to launch without Slayer. After a year delay, keep in mind. Doesn't that concern you? Someone's making decisions somewhere that thought this was a good idea? Yo, Sigma 6 Cypher, I think that's John. Welcome in, John, with a brand new membership. Enjoy the dope badge and emotes. You dope and deserve dope stuff. Smash that join button, guys. Let's get a little membership train going. I'd love to get to 400 members. We only need like 30 or 40 new members. I bet you there's enough people here to do it. I bet you guys could do it. If you're liking the content, feel free. We've all been programmed to want more from something that doesn't need to be there. So those 6 matches are due to me being a sheep, I guess. You're not a sheep, Blue Bandit. No. I wasn't. I hope you didn't think I was taking a swing at you or being passive. You aren't choosing that because you want to. You're choosing that because they've built it to be the most optimum way to play. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not acting like you're a sheep and can't think for yourself. They have built it, and you've now optimized into their desired framework. Bro, how many people aren't like you? You're probably more good-natured and more palatable. You're like, yeah, it's fine. I'll do 6 matches a day. It's Halo, after all. There's plenty of people that aren't going to take that posture or that attitude. They're going to friggin' walk. It's antithetical to player volition. It's like, well, it's forcing diverse gameplay. But as I said, if you play like Blue Bandit, you've optimized. You're going to make the most out of your XP. What if you can only play on Friday and Saturday and you play 12 games on each day? You're going to make way less XP than him hitting 6 games a day. He does 6 on a Monday and 6 on a Tuesday. So let's just say he does 4 days of 6. So he hits 24 games. And you do 12 on a Friday and 12 on a Saturday. You get less XP and progress than him. Because you've not optimized. That's backwards. That's backwards. You're not meeting gamers where they are. Working moms, working dads, college students, people with jobs, they're like, these are my 2 days to play, and you're making it's not optimum. I guess I'm supposed to take time every day to bag my 5 to 6 optimum XP earn rates. German Sherman with $1 says, there, now accept me. What do you mean? How would I not accept you? You and I have had a lot of back and forth today already. KitKat says, I think that Microsoft is probably rushing the process because they obviously want their main exclusive title to come out so they can push their console, not just 343 making decisions, I think. Oh, I don't know about that. They let them delay it for a year. I don't think you can say this is Microsoft doing pushing or rushing. This is at a high level 343 decision making that missed the mark on a lot of things. What'd you say, Eugene? Apparently being able to select Slayer results in objective modes becoming toxic, and we can't have toxicity in Halo. Again, those are Sketch's words, not mine. I don't track with his logic there at all. Having a Slayer hopper would make the OBJ modes toxic? What does he mean by that? They're toxic right now. Because the people want Slayer, so they play an OBJ game mode like it's Slayer, and they don't help, and it's freaking irritating. Joseph Staten, push it to be delayed. I think Joseph Staten's the only reason I have a modicum of hope this game can get back on track. I think he's the reason you even have an MVP launching in 2 days. Wake up, brush your teeth, eat breakfast, do your dailies, normal day-to-day stuff. Yeah, your wife's like, have you mowed the lawn yet? No, babe, come on. I gotta do my dailies in Halo. My gosh. Hilly says, not to take an issue with you, Lono, but they have launched with Slayer. The trouble is the developer has blended the playlist to subside the funnel for other game modes. It has Slayer, but you have to play more to get your fill. The same is true of the Battle Pass. I feel the leadership have put something across the whole game, which is leaving a bad taste. Shutting down Reddit will only add. No. Yeah, it's hard to have that nuance every time I say it, Hilly, but launching without Slayer, hopefully people know what I mean. Slayer's in the game, you just can't pick it. So you have to wait for it to come around. So again, it feels like, who made that decision? Why would they push a console that they lose money on? A 10 out of 10 game needs to get back on track. Paul, you think your reviews will save you, but they won't. They won't. If this game is to continue, those 10 out of 10s ain't going to mean jack squat in a month if people have walked away because all this crap's going unresolved. These review scores that it's getting, sure, maybe they knocked it out of the park. Maybe the campaign's stellar. Your reviews will not save you. They're not some fortress you can go hide in. These are real issues. This is something that they're going to have to deal with, or you're not going to have people won't be playing. Within 36 hours, they were having to address Battle Pass complaints, but it's not the core Halo community. Within the first week, they had to address the ridiculous nature of the store and the items being sold in it. But what, your 10 out of 10 reviews are going to save it somehow? They were addressing these issues week 1 that the beta was out. What? These are real issues. These are real criticisms from the community. They can't be discounted because a bunch of gaming journalists have given it a 10 out of 10. All these journalists gave Deathloop 9 out of 10s and 10 out of 10s. And you know what I think about that game? I'm not taking that to the bank and cashing it. Another $1 from German Sherman, thank you. How does this work? I've never used Super Chat before. Help. Why can't I make my own modes via custom games, but they cannot? Oh, but we have over $1,000 of micros. Who are they trying to fool? I'm not understanding the question. Why can I make my own modes via custom games if they cannot? Oh, no. Good question. Yeah. Yeah. I can go create my own custom game right now in custom matches, but they can't add Slayer to the hopper? Those reviews are paid if I've ever seen it. Yeah. Seeing those reviews, I'm already like, I don't know. I don't know, bro. 9s and 10s, 10 out of 10s. In the words of Ben Affleck in Good Will Hunting, you suspect, okay? You suspect. This thing got delayed for a year. Its multiplayer beta has had a lot of criticisms, complaints, and issues. But the game's launching in 2 days with 10 out of 10 scores. You suspect, my friend. Some of the most hardcore Halo fans are in my chat today complaining about these issues. But it got a 10 out of 10? I don't know. I'm doing one of... I'm doing one of those. I'm like, I don't know, bro. I don't know about that, bro. Something's off. Something's off. I haven't played yet, I guess. Again, the campaign can be literally the greatest thing since sliced bread. People aren't playing the campaign for the next 10 years. That is exactly right. One of the reviews was, it's not perfect, but they gave it 10 out of 10. Do they understand what 10 out of 10 means? What? The issue is how many pathological entitled gamers we have now? What do you mean pathological entitled gamers? What are you talking about? I have very calm, respectful people in my chat outlining issues with the game. They're not pathologically entitled. They're not having a good time. You're pathologically entitled because you don't like Desync. You're pathologically entitled because you don't like the fact that a core game mode isn't selectable on launch date. You're a pathologically entitled gamer because a battle pass has been stretched to reach 6 months instead of 3, and it's been stretched beyond the breaking point, and the progress seems absurd. All those people are pathologically entitled? Where? How? The game's not perfect, but I wouldn't change anything. 10 out of 10. It's like when someone gets confused and they review a game and they're like, great game, 1 star. Huh? Huh? What? Great game, 1 star. Wait, come back. You've made a mistake. 10 out of 10 doesn't mean a perfect game. No game is perfect. So does no game deserve a 10 out of 10? 10 out of 10 doesn't mean perfect. I mean, I don't want to project on it, but okay, listen. If you're going to say 10 out of 10, my expectation, Doomslayer, is that you would say it's near perfect, not it's not perfect. They're very different statements. Are they not? Like, come on, bro. You know, if I give Hellblade or Returnal 10 out of 10, I'm going to say, what do I say about Hellblade and Returnal? They're nearly perfect. I have almost no gripes. If I said those games were 10 out of 10 and I said, well, they're not perfect, you'd be like, wait a minute. That doesn't line up. What do you mean it's not perfect? Oh, dude, downtown in Pellizzeri's Pizza, 10 out of 10. How is it? Well, it's not perfect. It seems, it's a betrayal. It's like, that doesn't mean 10 out of 10. Fat Seal with a brand new membership. Enjoy your dope badge and emotes. You're dope and deserve dope stuff. 10 out of 10 means money was really good. Russell says really great shows lately for sure. I feel like we're really hitting a stride, man. This has been really fun. I love seeing new people and they say they're enjoying the show. That's encouraging. I appreciate all you new folks enjoying what we do. We do this Monday through Friday, man. Turn me into your daily gaming radio. I appreciate the support very much. Lono's very annoying. 10 out of 10. Would watch again. Right here. Right here. VG247 says on Metacritic, Halo Infinite isn't perfect. It has foibles and struggles here and there. And they gave it a 100! What? You literally just got done saying it isn't perfect. It has foibles and struggles. Then it's not a 100. It's maybe an 80 or an 85 then. Like, how does a game with foibles and struggles translate into a 100 out of a 100? Your son, he's not perfect at Spanish. He has his foibles and his struggles, but he got a 100 out of 100 on his test. Then what the frick are you talking about? Does he have foibles and struggles or does he not? How did he get 100 out of 100 if he's got foibles and struggles? I don't really quite understand what you're saying here. These statements don't seem to be like they're synced up. Ten out of 10. My wife divorced me because of this game. Oh, what on earth? What on earth? How? 10 out of 10. 9 out of 10. Perfect game. 9 out of 10. Perfect game. Oh man. Oh, that's good. That's good. That was really funny, Emperor Mac. 9 out of 10. It's perfect game. They're dumb. I'll never read anything by them again. 10 out of 10. The average is an 86, but the vast majority of these review outlets I give no credence to. Yeah, 4 out of 10 must buy. It's a 4 out of 10 must buy. Oh, man. Oh, golly. Golly. Did YouTube have a hiccup? Why did we just lose like 60 people? People were vibing with my mockery of the reviews. Did everybody just go to Metacritic to read the reviews? What happened? Excuse me. Do we have like a blip on YouTube? We usually don't lose chunks like that. It's usually a trickle. Although I was out of frame for a minute. Well, no, I wasn't. I just clicked on the VG thing for a teensy bit. Whew. Game literally doesn't boot up. 7 out of 10. From what I saw the menus, it looked really nice. I can't get into the game though. 8 out of 10. Can recommend. The menu experience is worth it alone. Blue Bandit with a $5 tip. Sending money toward good content. I think you meant to say good content. Sincerely, Whale. Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, they probably thought this stream was a 10 out of 10. This stream is a 10 out of 10. I'm out of here. Oh, that's good. That's good. We have really gotten a lot of mileage out of this joke. That was very funny, Pat Gaming. They probably thought this stream was a 10 out of 10. That's why they left. Oh, that's good. Why are you guys being so mean to the greatest campaign since classical literature? This game might not be perfect, but after getting some Microsoft dollars, it's definitely a 10 out of 10. Hilly's, oh gosh, my stomach hurts. This has been very funny. Hilly says, the Battle Pass is lacking cosmetic rewards. The skill-based matchmaking is having an adverse effect on higher skill players. The co-op is missing. The Forge is still being developed by Brad and Jerry. the XP boosts are a joke, and you get random RNG challenges, and unless you can predict the future, currency paralysis awaits you. I can't play SWAT or Slayer when I want to. The store items are locked to individual armor cores. If you unlock Reach special armor sets, you can't change anything. The Commando rifle handles like a teenager on prom night. All this, I give it a 10 out of 10. Ship it. Ship it, bro. Ship it. Absolutely ship it. Yo, your channel is fire. Time to go. Never watching again. Oh, Hilly with the dunk. That is a slam dunk. Oh my gosh. Put that right on the front of the box. You know how they put those reviews on the front, like all the scores? Just put what Hilly wrote just right across the front. You can't even see Master Chief. You're like, what the frick? The Commando. The Commando rifle handles like a teenager on prom night. 10 out of 10. Oh my gosh. Good golly. That is funny. Oh. Whew. Ooh wee. I'm getting lightheaded from laughing so hard. That was funny. If you add 3, 4, 3 together, it equals 10. Coincidence? I think not. Oh, we need a conspiracy channel. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. We got another hot conspiracy off the presents for you. If you take 3, 4, 3 and you add it all together, you get 10 out of 10. All right, here we go. Let me spin this up. Just start going through and reading the reviews. This is obviously paid for by the Illuminati. Oh. 3 plus 4 plus 3 out of 10. Buy it now. Oh gosh. Oh, that's great. That is everything. That is perfect. Oh man. Whew. Oh. Bungie banned Lono for no reason. 10 out of 10 company. Stop reading the jokes. You're gonna go into cardiac arrest. Whew. Thank you to all the new subs today, man. You guys rolled us over on a nice milestone, just trucking our way to 10,000 subs. I greatly appreciate it. We got 2 coffee orders for the day. We'd love to see a couple more. If you guys want to buy our coffee, this is mine, by the way, and it's very, very good. If you're a coffee drinker, I'm not getting a kickback from some company. We buy this. It is shipped to my home. My wife and children package it up and ship it to you. And we have a light roast, a dark roast, and a holiday blend. It always got balanced acidity, so it's very drinkable. Very, very good. Lots of ways to support the channel. Subscribing is free. Pressing the like button is free. I'm always wearing a shirt from 80s Tees, so you can use the shirt command, the disc plate command if you like my disc plates back there. Coffee, a paid membership. If you're doing Christmas shopping on Amazon, use my Amazon affiliate link. If you click the link before you buy anything, it supports me. You don't get a discount or anything, but you can use the Amazon affiliate link below in the description or with the Amazon command if you're doing any of your holiday shopping. How many subs did you have when you switched over here? I think we had like 6K, 6 grand, something like that. If you turn the Infinite sideways, you get an 8, right? Halo Infinite was originally meant to release 2020. If you divide 2020 by 2, you get 1010. Halo Infinite 10 out of 10. Oh, man. Big ups for the humble coffee merchant. Thank you. It is very, very good. People in chat will tell you this coffee. We've actually had coffee snobs tell us that it is. We don't have. I've had people tell me it's underpriced. That's how it is. What's the holiday blend? So around here, I say frick or what the frick. So every year we say, have a Merry Frickmas. So this is the Frickmas blend. It is a medium-bodied, bright seasonal, crisp finish with balanced acidity. So it's a medium-bodied coffee. The beans are sourced from Mexico. It's very, very flavorful. My wife switched from the dark roast being her favorite to the Frickmas blend. So our base flavor, the original flavor, comes in light and dark. The light and the dark. Same base flavor, honey undertones with balanced acidity. But the light roast is medium-bodied with a smooth finish, and the dark roast is full-bodied with a bold finish. So those are the three. You can buy, the best value is 3 bags, because that's before, the shipping doesn't get crazy until after 3 bags. So you can literally just do the traffic light special. You just get one of every color, like red, yellow, and green, just like a traffic light. Or you can take the Madam Challenge, so people get the Frickmas, and then they get the dark roast, because she's been trying to choose between 2. I think she's heavily leaning towards Frickmas, but people in chat will tell you their favorite. So they make great stocking stuffers. You know, if you know which one you're probably going to enjoy, get 2 bags of what you're going to enjoy, and then snag a 3rd bag for a friend, you know. And it's really easy for them to reorder it if they like it. They just go to ragelessroast.com. That's the name of the coffee, Rageless Roast. We will never do K-Cups, but you can buy reusable K-Cups for your Keurig, and it's more economical for you, better for the environment, and then you can buy my coffee and probably save a lot of money, because if you're buying K-Cups, you're spending a lot, so. Whew. If Doom Eternal is a cheeseburger and fries at In-N-Out, then Halo Infinite is a steak dinner in the big city with an overpriced bottle of luscious red wine. That's one of the reviews, Loot? What the frick? What? I'll go on record that it's a halfway to cat poop coffee. It's all I drink. When I become a millionaire, I'm going all cat poop all the time. Wait, that came out wrong. My roast made me rage. Would recommend coffee. 10 out of 10. The coffee is almost perfect. 10 out of 10. There you go. You only have a K machine. That's the only reason I haven't gotten the coffee. Look into reusable K-Cups, Dominus, because Keurig makes their own. You can buy reusable K-Cups that are made by them. Nine out of 10 IGN. 78% from PC Gamer, and a 5 out of 5 from BG247. Right. This is worse than Deathloop in my mind. Like, Deathloop getting 9s out of 10s and 10s out of 10s, I just thought was ludicrous. I was like, this is not indicative of the product. This is indicative of where we are right now as gamers. We were in a gaming drought, and people overpraised that game. Like, big time. Deathloop was a fine game. It was a good game. It was not a 9 or 10 out of 10 game. Not by a long shot. Not by a long shot. I don't know what this is right now. It to me, it's worrisome. It's like, wait a minute. How are you already getting these scores? It just seems absurd. It just seems absolutely absurd. It's so rare to see 10s out of 10s and 9s out of 10s. It's so rare. So, I mean, I am genuinely curious just how good this campaign is going to be. Like, I'm being honest. I'm not trying to be mean or unkind. Deathloop also gets worse the more you play it due to repetition. Maybe they didn't take too much time to review. Deathloop was super creative at implementing rogue elements into an actual storyline. But the AI was all over the place. The combat was sloppy. Like, there were plenty of reasons to not give that game a 10 out of 10. Like, objective reasons. Inconsistencies in the game's performance and other things. Like, come on. Yeah, they're allowed to put up scores today. Everything else is probably embargoed. Phillips reviews seem more reliable as a longtime type of gamer as myself. Yeah, a lot of people say they don't like listening to SkillUp's reviews, but I don't know. I feel like every time he's reviewed a game, I've pretty much agreed with him. I had somebody come in here and tell me that, like, I almost never agree with SkillUp, and I'm like, what are you freaking talking about? Like, virtually every review he's put out, I go and look at it, and I'm like, no, I agree with him. Like, I don't know. At least that's how I felt. I'm not sitting here saying that like I'm a huge like, oh, he's amazing. He says, I recommend Halo Infinite campaign. Okay, so he recommends the campaign. I mean, I'm not sitting here telling you the campaign can't be worthy of praise. Like I said, they probably got something right. But if PC Gamer is giving it a 78%, then there's room for disagreement here. Like, I don't know. Yeah, that's pretty good, Fuzzy. I watched his review. He makes it clear it isn't perfect. You didn't agree with his Cyberpunk review? What did he say about Cyberpunk that you didn't agree with? He recommended Cyberpunk? You know, we were looking at the reviews on Steam, and Cyberpunk on PC miraculously has like it's had good reviews since the beginning. I don't know. I don't think the PC community hated on it as much as everybody else. I think they enjoyed it a marginal amount more, like a good amount more. ACG is saying campaign review, buy it, wait for sale or Game Pass. Wheezy says, he's got it. Skill Up says, Halo Infinite is always fun, but it's also awkward and compromised. Where Halo Infinite multiplayer has charted a clear course for the future, the campaign continues to live in the shadow of those that came before it. Oh, okay. He admits that him liking Cyberpunk was an unpopular opinion. Yeah, Cyberpunk, if you look at its overall ratings on PC, it was treated a lot more kindly on PC than on the console. They sent out PC codes to the reviewers. They didn't send console codes, which is why the positive review... Oh, so he played on... Okay. I mean, but Steam, the people on Steam aren't being paid any money. You can go look at the general consensus on Steam. Cyberpunk was treated a lot more fairly. I mean, not fairly. It was a lot more kindly treated on Steam. You can recommend a game and still think it's a 7 out of 10. Right. I mean, generally, that was the score it netted on Steam. It got like a 76% out of like 400,000 reviews or something. Yong's video was so bad on Cyberpunk, he literally took the video down. Yeah, I remember. Didn't he made a video about that? Yeah. Yeah, he made a video about that. About, you know, he really had to change his position on Cyberpunk. Impression I've gotten is that Cyberpunk on PC was solid. It's old-gen consoles that birthed the memes. Well, I would say, I don't know about the word solid. It had a lot of issues on PC still, but I think it was just more tolerable. I also think the PC community is more accepting of bugs and glitches in initial launch. They know games like this, they kind of come with that stuff. Yeah, if you want to play co-op 30, yeah, that's rough. That's rough. To be fair, I think he put it back up. People are forgetting how Cyberpunk duped every reviewer, not just Skill Up. Well, I don't think he's took it down. They were saying Yongye unlisted his. I'll play a 7 out of 10 game. I'll recommend it, but with the caveat of this isn't a masterpiece. It's all right. Right. Young pads his videos with crap. Nothing against him as a person, but I stopped watching him when his Cyberpunk review came out. Well, and I think the problem is too is like a guy like that kind of earns his stripes, and he can kind of just put up a video and say whatever now. I'm not saying that means he would suddenly start putting up content that isn't honest, but like obviously he can just kind of ramble and put up a video and it'll do just fine as long as he's talking about a relevant topic. The dude doesn't even like tag and describe his videos very well. He just throws up a vid with a title and then he just you know what I mean? What's my review number out of 10 for Halo? It's got to be in a 6 or a 7. It's in a 6 or a 7. Coffee shout out. Oh, do we have some coffee orders? I had to check my email. We're getting an alert made so that we can have alerts. There it is. Thank you so much. My man, JW, taking up 3 bags of light roast. Thank you, JW. SkillUp thinks that beyond the missing features and numerous bugs that it suffered from, Under That is still a good game that people should play. He's aware of himself. Yeah. Yong's review of Halo is summarized by, happy to say, a few qualms aside, Halo Infinite's campaign is pretty darn good. I have not played the campaign. No, just multiplayer. I think 78 out of 100 is a good, fair, balanced review at this point. PC Gamer has pointed criticisms, but still thinks it's fun. Lono did not immediately run off the screen to package my coffee. Extremely disappointed. Let's not do that, Fliz. That's not really what chat's for, to like randomly promote other people's content. Polls at nearly 1,000 votes. Yeah, we've had a real banger of a show this afternoon. This morning was real slow going because New World's kind of fizzling out as far as interest goes. People don't really care. They're not really coming to YouTube to break it down. Now, this morning's show was excellent as far as like the debate. We had a really good debate about Amazon's communication. But this afternoon, we kind of took off like a rocket because they opened up the Reddit again today. So we made the right call at the right time, and this video just kind of like so we very much are at the mercy of the public's interest when we pick topics sometimes. Like, we just don't know what people are going to latch on to. Now, in 30 minutes, I do have a premiere over on SNTR Presents. I interact with a quote, like a clip from Trevor Noah talking about cancel culture. So we recently talked about Ludwig leaving the Purple Platform, debates, discussions, and then I continued my Say No to Rage story over there. And the most recent Say No to Rage story has an AMA after it with my wife. So that's all on over there. Matta might be on it. She has to come down here into the studio to print off the labels. So she did print off labels last night. Some people ordered over the weekend. It's really encouraging to see coffee orders coming in like when I'm not even streaming. It's like, whoa, here we go. Thank you so much. Like, it's a real big encouragement to my family. Like, I'll get a little personal here. We're near the end of the show, and a lot of you new people are amazing and bright and warm, and we've had a great discussion. But the people that have been here for the last year and a half, man, putting up the Christmas tree yesterday and the Christmas lights, I put out a tweet and an Instagram post. I said, I'm going to be able to give my kids a much better Christmas this year, and you guys are a lot of that reason. So whether you've hit the like button, subscribe, you're a member, maybe you've bought coffee or a t-shirt or whatever, even if you just lurk and listen every day, you know, a lot of the lurkers are the lifeblood of a show like this, because this is generally a talk show that lives and breathes off of steady folks tuning in. So we're very much looking forward to the holiday season this year, a lot more than last year, that's for sure. Buy kiddos their own umbrellas. It came. There you go, D-Tom. Yeah, man. Spidey with a Santa hat. That's nice. That's nice. They got a great, if you're looking for some holiday shirts, 80s Tees has got a great Christmas selection. Like, a Santa hat on anything you could think, like on the Transformers logo, Spider-Man, Deadpool. You know, they got Star Wars Christmas shirts over there. Anything you could think of, seriously. So thank you, Valdub. I appreciate that. I'll give you another $1 if you admit Halo is 10 out of 10, not perfect. Hot off, this is not for your $1. This is just for the content. Hot off the presses here. It's my review of Halo. It's not perfect. All right, 10 out of 10. Make sure and buy it. There you go. There's your review. This is actually a really, really nice note from Insomniac Black. He sent a bunch of Pokemon cards to the kiddos in the P.O. box. So they were thrilled. They were absolutely thrilled. Thank you for the $1, German. I'm happy for you and your family, says Abe. I knew it was coming. It's been a rough time, but good for you seeing you making your content creation again. Good luck, man. Oh, that's good. That's good. At 10 out of 10 would not do again, yeah. Yeah, it's getting canceled on Reddit. Yeah. Oh, man. I've been slowly eating my lunch. My wife brought down like some chicken and stuff, and I've just been periodically grabbing a bite because we were having such a passionate discussion. It was extremely difficult. You got mayo in your beard? It's not mayo. It's like a hole in my beard. It's how it grows. Look. I'm going to have to trim it. I'm going to have to trim it back down. Freaking, it's not mayo. Like, I'm just sitting here with a glob of mayo slopped on my face all day. Get the marker out. Yeah, I'm just gonna draw it in. All right. Look, no, I don't have an old scar. All right, hang on. Perfect. It worked. I can't believe that worked. It did work better than I expected. I just heard the 343 drop the beard patch. It's not perfect, but it's 10 out of 10. Oh, gosh. It's so sad that it actually looks, it looks better. It looks better, chat. I couldn't resist it. I have a dry erase board over there in the corner. I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. Hey, I don't know if it's ever been said to you, but I love how full your beard is. No unsightly gaps or mayo. Is your beard growing in patches? Not quite connected in the ways you want? Buy a beard marker today. My beard marker will fill in those spots, and you'll never have those embarrassing, awkward sight lines on your face ever again. Got a hot date on Friday night? Beard marker will have you looking sharp. It's not a Sharpie, but you will look sharp. There you go. Let's market it. He finally wiped the mayo off. Yeah, the acronym's BM. I was so hungry. Here's Beard Grows in real time. Beard Grows, one of the Witcher 3 reviews. Yeah. I remember when Witcher 3 came out. People were kind of obsessing over the hair movement and stuff. Yeah. Pacino's Beard Pencil Filler. Waterproof, long-lasting coverage and natural finish. Beard, mustache, and eyebrows. Wow, it's an actual thing. I love that it's called Pacino's. Just gonna carry that in your pocket from now on? Yeah, I'm going out, driving around. I'm like, oh shoot, babe, you got the marker? And everywhere you go, somebody's like, smells like a marker in here. I'm like, really? I don't oh, it might be my new cologne. Yeah. El Macor. Pete says, can I get a spoon Lono button or something? I mean, I'm not Momoa, but my Greek alabaster physique will do. Would always be a fan. I mean, homie, if you're big and burly, then I will take a snuggle. I have no problem. I'm not shy in that regard. Hey, I've got an idea for a cologne. You want to invest? Far Cry 4 recommended. Saw an eagle fly away with a pig. Fully endorsed game. Oh golly. No. I will not be doing that, Shakuzalu. I will not be doing, no. He enjoys dressing like that, and I have no judgment about it. If you like putting on the clothes and the makeup, man, you do you, boo boo. But I'm good. Now he's gonna get addicted to huffing markers. I picked the wrong week to stop sniffing glue. That's right. That is right. Oh, somebody clipped it. I'm retweeting it. Thank you, Fast Flex. Sounds like you're judging. No, judging would be judging. I didn't judge. Oh, you clipped the commercial. Yeah, I'll be playing the Halo campaign on stream. Yeah, the day it launches, I will be playing it for sure. For sure. Goat Simulator. I don't even know what I'm doing. 10 out of 10. That's perfect. Far Cry 6. The Eagles fly away with the entire deer and rams. 10 out of 10. Oh, do they? Are you just being silly, or do they actually do that in 6? My frustration with Far Cry was like you would go to like every time I would go to do something, I'd be like crouched in the bushes. It was like there was a tiger in every bush. I was like, what the frick? My phone heard you talking about disc plates, and now I'm getting ads. Thanks. Well, you know, get some. Just make sure to use my link. You know. I think somebody ordered some disc plates over the weekend or something. I got an email. Oh, they actually do? What time does it actually launch? I have no idea. If you guys ever do order the disc plates, make sure you click on my link first. A couple of people have made that mistake and they haven't gotten a discount, which means you're wasting money, and then I also don't get a kickback. Like, I'm okay without the kickback, but if you're going over there and spending money and not getting the discount, like, that is just such a waste. That is such a waste. Don't do that. Yeah, we had two disc plates. Somebody bought 2 disc plates 2 days ago with my link. Halo Infinite campaign launches at 1 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday. Okay, that's perfect for me. As long as I can preload. Oh, you got them over the weekend? Okay, that was you. Okay. All right. Thank you. If you guys are just tuning in, we discussed the Halo Reddit getting shut down. You can take the poll at the top of the chat. We had a killer poll response today, over 1,000 votes. Halo Reddit shutdown, who's primarily to blame? The community and 343. It's a 50-50 shot. So about half the people in here are saying it wasn't on 343, it was on the community, and the other half are saying no, it was on the community. So we obviously had a split vote today, but I think that led to some really good discussion. So if you were here and you heard the debates and you heard the back and forth, then hopefully you enjoyed it, because that is the lifeblood of what we do here. We 100% are very regularly just absolutely, having hot, fiery discussions and debates. It's really, really enjoyable. You can preload now. Oh, you can? I think tomorrow night. Somebody's saying you can preload now, and somebody's saying tomorrow night. So I'll check. Preload is $7 per platform. Comes with an optional $3 platform swap if you want to change platforms, but not guaranteed to get the platform that you want. Today was a good day for discussion. It was truly a very enjoyable way to start the week. 2 out of 10. Wouldn't do again. So we have another channel that we're going to be going to in just a moment here. I have a video today about cancel culture. Trevor Noah had some thoughts on cancel culture, and we have in our Discord a room called Reaction Suggestions. So if there is content out there, if there are thinkers, public commentators, pundits, whatever, and you want to see me interact with things they're saying about like the culture and things happening in the world, then you can put those in there. Now, it can even be stuff that you think is just absolutely absurd and like bonkers stupid. Wait, did I thank Coyote for the $5? Oh my gosh, I am so sorry, Coyote. That is my bad. That got pushed down on my dashboard for some reason. $5 from Coyote. Get yourself a nice cup of Rageless Dark Roast, the superior of the 3 Rageless flavors, on me. Thank you, Coyote. I appreciate that. I'm sorry I didn't read that out. RNG platform swaps, 1 out of 10, would recommend. No preload, says German Sherman. Thanks for having me today. Thanks for hanging out, Belmont. Preload if you give it a good review. Listen, I probably didn't win. If there was a single person from 343 that wandered in here, like, it wouldn't surprise me if somebody did wander in and hang out today. and listen to the content. It wouldn't surprise me. And I probably didn't win any love today, but I don't care, Here's when it unlocks, says Mad Nagi. I definitely am not going to fall into that trap. I fell into that trap with another game and feeling like I needed the approval of others, feeling like I needed the approval of, the developer. Like, oh, I can't be successful if I don't get in their good graces. Nah, I'm good. We're not going to be beholden to anybody. We're going to ensure that we can just deliver content with... And this isn't shade. I'm not throwing shade at anybody, but my goal is to deliver content with honesty and integrity and not worry about any of that crap, Peace out, coffee man. All right. I'm surprised they didn't slip you a cut of today's microtransactions to drive the convo another way. Who needs to be in a dev's good graces? That can't possibly backfire at all, right? Well, I mean, yeah, I know you're joking. I'm not worried about that. That's it. Locking down YouTube because of the toxicity. Right. Or just change the topics. Yeah. We could have just changed the topic to something else. Just started preload on my Xbox, says Detonator. So are they? Let me see if you can preload on. Hang on. On Steam. I don't know if you can. Halo Infinite campaign. It's $60. Pre-purchase, planned release, downloadable content. You can't tell unless you buy it, which I have Game Pass, so I can't see myself doing that. You literally just now checked? Wait, so when you checked, German Sherman, you checked Halo Infinite preload on Steam? How's the Halo Reddit experience going right now after they turned it back on? Pete the Greek became a member. Enjoy the dope badge and emotes. You're dope and deserve dope stuff. Let me give you guys a member count. Also maybe the next emote unlock count. Let's see where we are. You guys can become a paying member for $5 a month. You get a badge, you get emotes, you get increased access in my Discord. We currently have 347 total members. And as far as the next emote slot goes, we need 48 more members to get the next emote slot. So we do need to hit 400 members to get the next emote slot. So, with Game Pass, you can preload. Okay. On Xbox dashboard, it says preload today. Yeah, so Steam, apparently, you cannot preload right now. Okay. I mean, that makes sense. Because Steam is obviously operating on a different, system. Image. Where are we on the time for today? 53. This is going to be close. I might have to send you guys over early. I don't want this to hit longer than 3 hours. I might push you guys over to the premiere 5 minutes early. On Steam, there's no preload, unfortunately. I checked betas, verifying, launching, and checking the game itself. Okay. Deathloop has over 50 perfect review scores. That's a joke. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, I don't get that. I don't get that. Turned in your mic for a joystick finally. There you go. There you go. Yeah, a lot of people are moving over from the other channel, and that's fine. That's fine. Campaign is a beta, so I can't preload. CrossFit Nerd says hi. Hi, how are you? Guys, make sure if you've enjoyed the video today, too, that you have smashed the like button. We've gotten a ton of new subscribers today, and we greatly appreciate that. We love to see the likes as well go up. We love to see that support, as well as new memberships, old members renewing all of that. We greatly appreciate it, and feels good. Feels good. Reddit shutdown. What happened? They shut the Halo Reddit shutdown was a 24-hour shutdown where they weren't letting people post anything because they said it got too toxic. I was looking for the join button on my iPhone, could not find it. Yeah, that's why we have the join command. It's a little wonky, unfortunately. Scores don't mean anything. Forza shows that the same people giving it perfect scores didn't believe it was worthy of Game of the Year nomination. Deathloop really brought the bar down for 10s. Agreed. Yeah, agreed. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I like these talk shows tonight. We've definitely ridden the train all the way to the end of the road here. I have another channel with close to 50,000 subscribers, and we put content over there that is a little bit more commentary driven and cultural driven. And I got like a 10-minute video that will be premiering, and it's about Trevor Noah talking about cancel culture. I thought it was pretty brilliant. All week long, that channel should be getting pretty good content, as well as the continuation of the Say No to Rage story. And I will be talking about getting banned from the Purple platform this week over there, which hopefully is very illuminating for a lot of people that, still don't have all the details. So I'm going to put a link in chat, and it'd be amazing. There's 305 people here. We really sometimes struggle to get people to go over and support these videos. And I have a YouTube partnership manager now, and he was helping us think through how to get that big channel back on the right course, because we used to cover Destiny over there, and now we don't. And we're basically needing you guys to drag that channel's rudder and support it. So when you go over and support a premiere that's 10 minutes long, it's super, super helpful. So there's 300 people here. I mean, if half of you go over, that would be ridiculously amazing. So if you can hear my voice right now and you've enjoyed today's show, it will help me out immensely if you go support that premiere. I'll end the stream here, and then I'll go push that premiere live. It's supposed to go live in 5 minutes. I'll push it a little bit early for you, all right? So, greatly appreciate you guys. Today was amazing. More talk shows tomorrow here, so make sure you're sub with your bell button set to all, and I'll see you guys later. CrossFit Nerd renewing their membership. Thank you so much, CrossFit Nerd. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. More great talk shows here tomorrow, and then Halo the day after that. All right, I'll see you then.